Our listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are
in the app with us, and we're gonna make this thing on the pop and do all this talk network with real fans talk about real sports. And not only sports, everyday activity in life, man.
Yo, what's up? It's Poogle Williams, 2017 Mr. Football. You are now tuned into FanView Live on New Orleans Talk Network.
My name is Jaquan Jackson, SMU commit, and you're tuning into FanView.
Well, what's up, everybody? This boy, Coach Hurricane here. You can follow me on Facebook at Henry Singleton or on Twitter at HenryHayoU15.
Listen, this is your boy, Fred. Listen, you can follow me on Facebook at Brandon Fred Jones, or you can follow me on Twitter at BFredJones.
This is Jeremiah Gray, man, with G Sports. You can follow me on Facebook, Jeremiah Gray, A.K.A, and on Twitter, G_paid-in-full-08.
Pay me the money! money!
Well, what's up, everybody?
Turn down for what? Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Sports New Orleans Talk Network. This is your boy Fred, G Sports, man. We got a nice show for y'all. Nice controversial show for y'all today. Boy, this show gonna be controversial tonight, boy. It's going down tonight, G. It's already hot in the building. Hot. Tension. Already flustered. About to get on it popping. Listen, man, we got a jam-packed show for you guys. Listen, for anybody tuning in, this is FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports. This is the y'all been waiting for this show each and every Thursday. This is the show that we sit down as fans, talk about sports, read comments, and get it in. And get it on and popping. Listen, we got a lot of jam-packed show for y'all guys. Listen, the 7 o'clock hour, we'll be talking a little football. You know, Jameis Winston, officially getting suspended for 3 games. You know, we got top 5 receivers, top 5 corners. If you had your top 5 corner, your top 5 receiver, trust me, this is the show that we get it in going into 2018. But we got a lot of basketball to talk about. NBA, the awards. This past Monday, who's been snubbed? You know, is LeBron James the most important free agent heading into the season? You know, and what team, has the most pressure this offseason, to be successful, to improve? Also, we got a little drama in Durham. We got a little drama in Durham. Little drama. We got a little drama in Durham. Little drama. Little drama. Little drama. It could drama. It drama. We got a little drama up there in Durham. But before I get ready to start this show, y'all know what I do every time. I give a shout and salute to the armed forces, the military, the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, First Responder, local police department, local fire department. Listen, thank you guys so much for what your services y'all do. I can't thank y'all enough. G Sports can't thank y'all enough. My man, Coach Hurricane, he couldn't be here tonight. He can't thank y'all enough. We thank y'all each and every time we get ready to do this show. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for the services y'all do. I can't thank y'all enough. Well, listen, we got to get it on and pop and get ready to talk about some of these sports, man. Whew. We're going to start this show off like this. NBA Awards was this past Monday. For people who do not know, I'm going to mention some of the awards. We're going to start this show. Rookie of the Year. The nominees was Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell. The winner was Ben Simmons. Coach of the Year, Dwayne Casey, Brad Stevens, Quinn Snyder. The winner was, obviously Toronto's, Toronto Raptors, Dwayne Casey. Who got fired? Coach of the Year got fired. Got canned. Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert was the winner. Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid were the nominees also. Most Improved Player was Spencer Ndwele and Clinton Capella. The winner was Victor Oladipo for Most Improved Player. You had the Sixth Man of the Year, Eric Gordon, Fred Van Velt, and Lou Williams actually won the award. Then we had the most valuable player award, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, James Harden.
LeBron James.
And James Harden. You know, James Harden takes on the trophy. The question is, everybody, who is your snub? Who got snubbed out of the NBA awards that's coming up? G Sports. Who got snubbed? Let's start off with you.
It's obvious that Donovan Mitchell got snubbed. Donovan Mitchell led the Jazz. Nobody even gave the Jazz a chance leading up to this season. He made these people relevant this year.
Facts.
You traded away Rodney Hood.
Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson. Was George Hill on that team?
No, George Hill was Sacramento.
Sacramento. You traded away some of them guys, and Donovan Mitchell came in as a rookie and was picked, 13 in the draft? 13. You know what I'm saying? Right at the end of the lottery. And, you know, he did a phenomenal job leading that team to prominence this year. They finished 4th in the West. In the West. I mean, he averaged 20 a game. Beat OKC, who nobody gave him a chance to beat. What, it was 4-1?
4-2.
4-2? You beat him in 6 games, and you gave the Rockets all you can handle. Yeah. Why he didn't win the Rookie of the Year beats me. I think the voters just had their mind made up already.
With Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons had a great year. I'm not taking nothing from him.
No, had a phenomenal year.
Yeah. The Sixers finished, 6 in the East?
No, they finished 3rd. 3rd in the East.
Third.
They were third.
Right. They finished third. But ultimately, man, Donovan Mitchell got snubbed in this. And I think this is the reason why they need to start giving these awards after the playoff. The votes go in April.
It's a regular season award. It's 82 games.
But we got to change this criteria. The votes go in April.
Right.
The votes need to go in June.
Agreed.
Right after the conference finals. Because if you take into consideration what Donovan Mitchell did in the playoffs, along with it in the regular season.
In the playoffs, you got to understand, he didn't have his point guard.
He balled.
He balled
out.
He didn't have his point.
Donovan Mitchell,
he didn't have Ricky Rubio.
If you include his playoff performances along with the regular season, I think he wins his Rookie of the Year by a landslide. But everybody's still just taking the regular season into account.
But Jason Tatum would have more votes.
Nah, not over Donovan Mitchell.
Jason Tatum had more votes.
I'm
not saying he had more votes, but he had more than probably what he had.
Probably so. But Donovan Mitchell was ultimately the Rookie of the Year. I think they got to change when they do the CBA again, and the owners and Silver meet up again. I think when they meet up again in 2 years,
correct.
When they need to make sure they change this. Bring the playoffs along with the regular season into this criteria, and I promise you, you won't see so many people feeling some type of way about when you see these awards come out.
Now, Sean Nelson said it's a regular season award, G. You know, I feel like Ben Simmons ain't a rookie. I hate that rule. That's why I'm at with it.
And that's another thing.
That's another thing.
You had a chance of sitting out a year, watching how the NBA game go.
Correct.
Watching how they prepare for games.
Correct.
Watching how the NBA life is.
You got to travel and exactly.
Last year around this time, Donovan Mitchell was just not getting drafted into the league, and for him to do what he did as a true rookie,
over 20 points a game,
it was phenomenal. And he was the #1 player on his team. Can't say the same thing about Ben Simmons. Joel Embiid is the #1 person on that team, regardless of what y'all want to see.
Right.
So in my mind, Donovan Mitchell got snubbed, and I think the NBA need to change the how they do the criteria. You need to take the playoffs, add it in with the regular season, and bring the award out.
Now, my man Derek Kirk said I would have given the MVP to Davis or James. What's good about that? Did LeBron James get snubbed as an MVP? I mean, when you start looking at some of the statistics, I mean, you know, there's a lot to be said there.
Look. I know everybody won't go and say, well, LeBron averaged more assists. He had more rebounds. His field goal percentage was better.
He had more total points.
He played 12 more games.
Is that LeBron's fault?
Than James Harden. That's one thing.
He played the 2 games.
James Harden led his team to the #1 record in the NBA. Not just the West.
Okay.
In the NBA. They finished 7 games ahead of
That's the facts.
The Warriors.
Facts.
And 25 of them games, Chris Paul didn't play.
Okay.
So you can't tell me that James Harden ain't the most valuable player this season. Now, are we saying James Harden the best player in the league? No. But you got to take in consideration, he went 25 games without Chris Paul, and you finished 7 games against that mini USA junior team, and you the #1 team in the NBA, and you was up 3-2 I guess I forgot we not counting the playoffs, but that's in my mind.
Right. It's in your mind.
You was up 3-2 on the Warriors. If Chris Paul don't get hurt, you probably go to the final. You're cutting down the Nets or holding the Larry O'Brien trophy at the end. But with that being said, James Harden was the clear-cut MVP. LeBron, we all know he going to be in consideration the top 3 finalists every year. But James Harden deserved his MVP. He got snubbed last year, regardless of what y'all want to say with Russell Westbrook. James Harden deserved the MVP, man. The numbers don't lie. He averaged 30 a game, was the leading scorer in the NBA. He had the number 1 record in the whole NBA.
Okay.
And you played 25 games without Chris Paul.
Now, I'm gonna read some of these comments.
Come on, man.
Now, here's the thing. You know, Cedric Williams says this. Nobody said anything when Blake Griffin won it the second year. Trust me, I had a problem when he won it that year. At the end of the day, I'll give you an example. Right now, I think one of the best corners that got drafted last year was probably Sidney Jones out of Washington. One of the best corners. I'm not saying the best corner that got drafted last year, but he didn't play a game. They redshirted it. So if you're trying to say to me is, if he plays this year for the Philadelphia Eagles and gets 7 picks this year, is he a rookie? No. Sidney Jones is a second-year player. See what I'm saying? He's not a rookie. So my take on this is, at the end of the day, listen, Ben Simmons is a second-year player. I don't care how you want to put it. He wasn't in the same draft class with Donovan Mitchell, and he wasn't in the same class with Jason Tatum. He wasn't in that draft class. Right. Those were real rookies. Those were guys that was in college the previous season.
Right.
That's the way it looks at. Ben Simmons was not a rookie to me. He had a chance to see the NBA life for 82 basketball games. Now, whether he played a shot or not is irrelevant to me. He was not a rookie, so he shouldn't have been part of that.
So you agree that Donovan Mitchell should have been a rookie of the year?
I said it.
All right.
I said, listen, Donovan Mitchell should have won this award. I posted on my Facebook. Listen, he had a phenomenal rookie year, taking nothing from Ben Simmons, but at the end of the day, he was not a rookie. This should have been up to Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell was the head guy on his team. He should have won the award. Not to take away from Jason Tatum, because he had a phenomenal year and had a phenomenal playoffs.
And to go back to the MVP discussion, y'all keep talking about LeBron, bro. I felt like Anthony Davis had more of a shot to win the MVP before LeBron.
Now here's the case with that. When you talk about LeBron, now here's the deal. LeBron James had to deal with more adversity than.
No,
he did.
Let
me share what you want.
I don't agree with that.
Let me share what you want.
Go ahead.
Let me share what you
want.
want.
I don't agree with that.
Because you understand, he had more total points. He had 300 plus more rebounds. He had 100 plus more assists. And you understand?
He played 48 minutes a night.
Listen, also understand this. He shot 54% from the field. James Harden shot 49% from the field. They both had the same percentage from 3. Same percentage from 3. The difference was LeBron James had 10 different teammates this season and still got to the NBA Finals. Like you said, if it's based upon what the conference finals is, then LeBron James before the NBA Finals had 7 40-plus games in the playoffs. James Harden didn't have that. See, at some point in time, we got to recognize greatness in LeBron. Now, with all that being said, we do agree that James Harden should have been MVP. Here's why, folks. This is why I ultimately agree why James Harden should have won this award. And the NBA got it right. Because regardless of what LeBron James did, and I'm a big advocate of LeBron James. He's the most complete player that I've ever seen play the game of basketball to me. But here's the difference. James Harden made this magical. He made the NBA watchable. I don't care what you want to say. What he was doing this year and how he was doing it, the Rockets was cooking. He was cooking. He made the NBA watchable. There wasn't a player in this league this season that made the NBA watchable more than James Harden. I don't care what anybody wants to say. Don't lie to me. LeBron James has more statistics. If you're going off statistics alone, but didn't watch any of the games, statistically, LeBron James is probably the MVP. Don't lie to me. But LeBron James comes down to watching the regular seasons. If you go on statistics alone, I don't care how you want to put that. But he was the most watchable player, and he's the most watchable team in his team. He's the only player in the history of the game who comes down to more points at a triple-double. And his team won the regular season overall.
But I gotta take a different angle with this, man. Y'all keep talking about LeBron James. LeBron gonna always be a candidate to be the MVP of the league. But why people talking about LeBron before Anthony Davis? Yes, I think James Harden deserves to win MVP. But if you're going to talk about somebody that got snubbed, if you're going to talk about a snub with the MVP, it should be Anthony Davis. Do you see the roster he played with? Now, people going to argue that.
You see the Cavs?
People going to argue that the Cavs roster is worse than the Pelicans.
That's G League over there.
But this is my thing though. Okay. This man, when Boogie got hurt, Everybody wrote the Pelicans off. Man, we knew. We set up here and wrote the Pelicans off. We all knew when the Cavs made that trade, when they got Rodney Hood and all those boys,
they still should be in the finals.
They still gonna have a good shot to get to the finals. When Boogie got hurt,
we wrote them off. They should AC at best.
Nobody gave the Pelicans a shot.
They wrote them
These
off.
people finished 6th in the West, and to be honest with you,
There
was one game from being 3rd in the West. Okay, he finished the season with 28 points, 11 rebounds, 2 blocks. He was the focal point every night. Drew Holiday was a good sidekick. Don't get me wrong. Don't take nothing from him. Ronald did a good job orchestrating it and running the show. But Anthony Davis was the main attraction. Anthony Davis was box office this year. Yeah. And that's the guy people need to be talking about that got snubbed.
He was watchable.
Don't talk about LeBron James. LeBron James really should have been 3rd in his voting when it comes to the MVP. What Anthony Davis did for the Pelicans, man, I'm telling you, nobody thought the Pelicans were going to make the playoffs. When Boogie got hurt, everybody like this.
We wrote them off.
People start selling their season tickets.
We wrote them off.
Anthony Davis deserved to be in the discussion talking about getting snubbed. I ain't trying to mess over LeBron James and trying to be disrespectful. But let's put things in perspective.
Because he had to overcome a lot. 10 different teams.
The Pelicans roster was atrocious.
Have you seen the Cavs lately?
Solomon Hill,
George Hill,
and Etwan Moore starts for the Pelicans.
J.R. Smith and George Hill start for
Do you want me to name the Pelicans bench?
It's bad.
It's bad.
But
Sands
go for the Cavs?
The Cavs have a better roster than the Pelicans roster to me. I'm sorry. They have a better roster. It is what it is. He called a spade a spade. Let's stop talking about LeBron James got snubbed and let's talk about Anthony Davis. Let's get a respect where it deserves. Anthony Davis is the one that got snubbed. And you want to talk about somebody getting snubbed.
My man Jay Howard probably 1,000% agree with you right now. Like he'd be like, Anthony Davis, I've been going back and forth with him numerous amount of times. And he's like, man, look, AD got snubbed.
Now, I still think James. Let me put this out here. I still think James Harden.
I think the NBA got it right.
Deserved to win the MVP.
I think he got it right.
But the voting should have been a little closer with Anthony Davis being 2nd, and he should have got a good bit of more first place votes than what he got.
But here's the thing with LeBron.
That's all I'm saying.
When you start looking at a guy who averaged 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists, you say to yourself, look, I mean, we got one of the comments in here. Cedric Wilson said, by the league not giving Russell Wilson the MVP award this year, it took
Russell
away.
Wilson?
I mean, Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Not giving the MVP award to Russell Westbrook the MVP award this year. It took away from the MVP last year. How do you top averaging a triple-double over an 82-game season? By doing it twice. They should have gave it to him. They should have gave it to Harden. He's referring to Harden to last year. And Derek Kirk said, let me see something. Pelicans and Cavs are lottery teams without James and Davis. Rockets still make the playoffs without Harden. Kind of a valid point.
See, man,
if it was
a fifth, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
My man Jay Howard said AD for MVP.
Like I said, James Harden deserved to win MVP. But stop talking about LeBron getting snubbed. It need to be Anthony Davis y'all talking about getting snubbed. That's all I'm saying. Anthony Davis should have been 2nd in the voting. Point blank period. Point blank period.
So LeBron should have been 3rd?
LeBron should have been 3rd.
When he had more total points than James Harden.
LeBron should have been 3rd. Donovan Mitchell
300 more rebounds. 100 more assists.
12 more games.
Is that LeBron's fault?
I'm just saying. If James Harden played all 82 games, what you think he would have did? He probably his number would have been shot up through the roof too. Come on, man. Let's go. Nah.
Would he have a high field goal percentage? I mean, LeBron shot 55% from the field goal
LeBron
percentage.
is in the lane 85% of the time.
And Harden's not.
Harden, it's 3 Harden shot this year. He led the league in three-point attempts.
Now Harden get to the lane now. Get to the lane.
Now moving on to most improved player. People gonna say I'm being biased.
It ain't Oladipo?
Listen, Oladipo is a good player. He was a good player before he got to Indiana. What it was, you know why everybody's mind all messed up?
He's an all-star player.
Because he went to OKC, played with that crazy boy, Russell Westbrook, and looked like a shell of himself. So now he leaves the OKC Thunder and goes with the Pacers, and he's playing just like he playing like we knew he could. When he was with Orlando, he was taking them stride. Right. So I don't think, he should have got most improved.
Right.
I think it should have been Clint Capella. Clint Capella, 13, 10, and 2.
Is that a Rockets bias?
Call it what you want. Clint Capella was a game changer this year. 13, 10, and 2. Yeah, the team had the number one team.
Right.
Had the number one record in the NBA, just like I said for James Harden.
Right.
You was the anchor of that team, the anchor on defense. Mm-hmm. And from what Clint Capella was last year compared to this year was phenomenal. So I think Clint Capella should have got most improved. Let's not misconstrue what I'm saying. Victor Oladipo played his tail off this year.
Yeah.
But only reason he got that award is because last year when he played with OKC, his numbers dropped tremendously when he left Orlando.
Right.
So now when he leaves OKC and he goes play with Indiana, he put these kind of numbers. Now everybody most improved player.
I mean, that's kind of an award.
I'm just saying, like, I just think that this.
Now Shane Nelson said, "I agree with you. I agree with this point, G." He said, "I agree with you."
Yeah, I mean, it's like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like Victor Oladipo was not good. It's just Russell Westbrook didn't pass him the ball.
I think the guy who got snubbed, and this sounds crazy to me, it was Brad Stevens. That was my snub, my main snub. And there's nothing against what Dwayne Casey did for Toronto. They're the number one team in the East overall. But here's the difference. His team never had adversity. They never had to experience injuries. He had Kyle Lowry the whole year. He had DeMar DeRozan this year. And that team was still a top 2 team. They were the number 2 seed last year. The Cavs were number 1. They were number 2. See, what Brad Stevens had to overcome, gain the first 5 minutes of the season. Gordon Hayward would go down. So guys had to step their game up and play out of position. You know, Jason Tatum played prematurely, so to speak, if that makes sense. Toward the end of the season, you lose Kyrie Irving. And then you say to ask yourself, hey, listen, this team, Boston team, should not make the conference final. They should not be here. But guys like Terry Rozier stepped their game up. You see what I'm saying? And when you have that kind of coaching experience, to me, that's the guy who got nothing. See, here's how I look at it. Dwayne Casey got swept. He got swept. He had the best overall team with his best.
What we just talked about. The playoffs. They not count the playoffs.
They're not count playoffs. It's a regular season award.
Exactly. That's why I keep saying
you got to get to the conference.
You gotta add the playoffs along with the regular season because we only playoffs. We got a short-term memory. All you remember what they did in the playoffs. So if you ball the regular season, you go to the playoffs and piss down your leg. That's all we remember. So now when the awards come out, you be like, man, he shouldn't have got that.
Yeah, because we're making
the NBA got to change this criteria on the award, like how they go about getting the award.
Because we're making the assumption that now, and I've made this assumption myself. If Kyrie Irving would have played, this is why Kyrie Irving, because she needed to be that Game 7. Because if Kyrie Irving was playing for that Boston Celtics team, I think that Game 7 turned out a whole lot more different than what it turned out. But that's no here nor there. He didn't play. But I'm going to the credit of Brad Stevens as far as his coaching ability. Not to take away. Dwayne Casey coached that Toronto team. They got swept. They didn't win the game. And plus, they lost 2 games against Washington. You see what I'm saying? That dude there and Brad Stevens, he had to coach. He had to dig deep. He took the Cavaliers 7 games. You see what I'm saying? He beat the 76ers in 5. You see what I'm saying? He had to dig deep. He went 7 games with Milwaukee with no superstar. Guys had to. Terry Rozier now, we're saying because of his coaching that, man, Terry Rozier should start next year. See, this is what I'm talking about. So if anybody truly got snubbed of an award, to me, it was Brad Stevens in the NBA award. Brad Stevens should have won that award. This is how I view it. That's how I look at it. He did a phenomenal job, especially when Gordon Hayward went down game 1 and the money you invested to acquire a guy of that caliber. That team could have been a shut of themselves, but that team would have actually went on a run. And guys like Jason Tatum had to play more minutes than they probably ever expected him to play. That's why I give the award. If anybody got snubbed, Brad Stevens. Not LeBron. Brad Stevens and Donovan Mitchell. Those 2 guys got snubbed to me.
I'm going to go a step further and say not only did Brad Stevens get snubbed, but Brad Stevens is the best coach in the NBA. Period. Yeah, people going to throw Popovich's name and all that, and I get it. Mm-hmm. Well, Brad Stevens, just like you said, I'm going to piggyback off what you said. What Brad Stevens did with that roster, losing Gordon Hayward, losing Kyrie Irving, and taking the Cavs to 7 games, says a lot about how he gets his team prepared for games, how he makes adjustments on the fly. Yes. I mean, his play calling out of timeouts is just remarkable. The dude is one of those coaches, and you know, if you listen to like people like Marcus Smart, Kyrie, Terry Rozier, and those guys, Al Horford, they all say one thing about Brad Stevens that I think that's crucial, especially in this day and age. He can relate to the players because he has a younger.
He's a younger guy. He's a younger guy.
And so I think Brad Stevens, that's why he's going to keep prospering in this league. And I can only imagine what he would do if he had a real talented roster. But I'm going to go another step further. Why the hell was Mike D'Antoni not a finalist?
You know what, though?
How was Mike D'Antoni
Quinn Snyder should have been a finalist? Quinn Snyder should have been a finalist.
Come on, man.
I agree with you.
So you go from I think the Rockets finished third last year? Third. And you jump to the number 1 team in the NBA. You had the highest offensive efficiency for a basketball team out the whole NBA. You shot up your points per game 12 points. Field goal percentage went up. Assists went up.
Right.
Tremendously.
Right. How D'Antoni was not.
You were 7 games ahead of the mini USA Junior Golden State Warriors. And you not a finalist?
Nah.
That's just disrespect. I'm sorry. Come on. D'Antoni should have been a finalist. I'm not saying he should have won the award because I think Brad Stevens should have
been
won
a finalist. Quinn Snyder should have been the finalist.
But D'Antoni should have been a finalist. It should have been Brad Stevens, D'Antoni, Dwayne Casey.
Now,
that's what it should have been.
I'm going to read my man Jay Howard says. He said AD got snubbed out of Defensive Player of the Year. That was the biggest snub. AD had more blocks and boards, plus played more games. Now, Derek Kirk says Rockets don't play defense. That's why. And
that's how I know.
Now Jay Howard says, I'll say, G so biased.
Look. I don't want to get analytical on y'all, but do y'all know the Rockets finished top 10 in the NBA in defense and total defense this year? See, y'all ain't know that, huh? Y'all ain't know that. So don't know before you go around saying we don't play defense. See, that's what happens when you known for playing.
That's why Quinn Snyder was in the award because the Utah Jazz had the number 1 overall defense in the league, and Rudy Gobert was a big.
I won't say that. I think the Rockets was like 8th or 9th total defense this year. D'Antoni would have never been in the top 20.
I think AD should have won that award though, the Defensive Player of the Year.
Stop going away from what D'Antoni getting snubbed.
D'Antoni getting snubbed.
Come on, man. D'Antoni got snubbed, and I'm gonna tell you something else. Eric Gordon got snubbed with the 6 man.
Well, Lou Williams was a starter. He started 50 games. It wasn't Austin Rivers. You think Lou Williams got an extension for being a 6 man? No, he started.
Eric Gordon played a major factor into the Rockets' success this year.
Now, my man Jay Howard said they got better because of CP3, not because of D'Antoni. I mean, I'm just saying.
You could go both ways with that. D'Antoni system always ups people's numbers. It's not a surprise that Chris Paul had one of the best seasons and the best playoffs of his career because he's in Mike D'Antoni's system.
Okay, agreed.
I'm just saying. James Harden numbers shot through the roof once Kevin McHale got fired and they brought D'Antoni into this.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Eric Gordon, like I say again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. Eric Gordon playoff performance through the first round, second round of conference finals was phenomenal. And if you take that in consideration, along with what he did in the regular season, he wins a 6 man by a landslide. Just saying, man. How the hell Lou Williams wins 6 man in a year and this team ain't even touched the playoffs? That has to play a factor.
The issue.
That has to play a factor.
The issue I had with Lou Williams winning the award is the fact that Lou Williams started.
Yeah.
He started. Yeah. Austin Rivers didn't start.
Yeah.
I watched a couple of games.
I think Eric Gordon might have started like 15 games.
Yeah. Lou Williams started like 30, 40 games. Like he was starting. Like you understand, Patrick Beverly got hurt way before the season started. Mm-hmm. Austin Rivers was not starting. They didn't start games with Austin Rivers on the court. They started winning games with Lou Williams on the court. Mm-hmm. So that's my bias on him winning the award. I think it's a phenomenal award. I actually like Lou Williams' game. I love what he does. I think on most teams, he is a 6 man. And he may be viewed around the league as a 6 man. But this season is past, that boy started.
And Defensive Player of the Year, I do think Anthony Davis got snubbed, and here's why. Not only was Anthony Davis a good rim protector, but once Boogie got hurt,
his game had to elevate.
Anthony Davis was the only person on that roster that could protect the lane. Yeah. The only person. And another thing about Anthony Davis, and I'm comparing him versus Embiid and Gobert,
right?
Because they're the finalists,
right?
When you set a pick on Anthony Davis can switch on anybody in the league
and guard him.
Why you think they swept the Portland Trailblazers? Because they kept trying to set pick and rolls on Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis would switch on McCollum or Damian Lillard, and he would hold his own.
Right.
He made it very, very difficult and made life a living hell for those guys.
Right.
So when you take all that into consideration, Anthony Davis was more valuable on the defensive end than Embiid and Goldberg. Because I saw Goldberg when we kept putting him in the blender. Chris Paul and James Harden, he was like a doorknob. Everybody got a turn. When you put him in pick and roll,
right?
He could not move his feet, could not move laterally. We put him in some compromising situations. Embiid, the same thing. Embiid cannot switch on every pick and roll and be a good defender. No. So that's why Anthony Davis.
And plus, he can't have the minutes.
Sometimes we got to stop looking at just the numbers. Rudy Gobert led the league in blocks. But Anthony Davis wasn't that far behind. But Anthony Davis did more. Not just being a rim protector, but able to switch on pick and roll and guard a 1 through 5. So Anthony Davis got snubbed. He should have been definitely the defensive player of the year.
Now, I'm going to read a few comments. He said, Cedric Williams says, this man G won the Rockets with every award.
Say it. Come on. Say it. Hold up. Say it. I don't got a point.
Now, Wayne Jones says, I think CP3 had a better playoffs than the Hornets. And I don't know if you hear about that. Jay Howard said, D'Antoni's system is a regular season system. That's why he has some amazing regular season teams that don't win. For example, Rockets.
Jay Howard, did you not watch the playoffs? Did you not see how we was up 3-2 on the Warriors, A.K.A. the Mini USA Junior? If Chris Paul don't go down, don't you know we holding that Larry O'Brien trophy? And don't you know we got buku champagne
he also said AD,
all in our eyes?
He said AD also led the league in blocks.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Well, that's making my case even more.
Now, Sean Nelson said the same thing. G want every award to be determined by the playoffs except the MVP.
Yes, I do. The MVP needs to be determined by the
comes to the Rockets. You just say you're biased.
No, James Harden, you need to be critiqued about what you do in the playoffs along with the regular season. Both of them need to be combined.
He made the finals. LeBron made the finals.
LeBron playing against little Billy and little Tommy in the East. Playing against Lighthouse of the Blind.
Stop.
I mean, I'm just saying.
He played Oladipo. I mean, he played that. He played my coach of the year and Brad Stevens.
Listen, dog.
He even played the winner of the coach of the year, Toronto.
If you think James Harden didn't deserve to win MVP,
Jay Harden said, "Did you win?"
Chris Paul got hurt, dog. He got hurt. And I ain't a person like to make excuses.
Did he win?
I don't like to make excuses. I'm just saying. All I'm saying to you, Mr. Sean Nelson, you talking like James Harden didn't deserve to win this. The man put on a show in the regular season, and he had his up and down in the playoffs.
Did he put on the same show in the playoffs? Because LeBron put on the show in the playoffs.
He had his times.
LeBron put on a show in the playoffs.
40 points.
He had 40 points plus games. He put on a show. About 3 game winners. LeBron put on a show. Come playoffs. Put on a show.
Hey, look.
I'm just saying.
Look. You act like Chris Paul getting hurt. Come on, man. That plays a major factor into the outcome of a game.
They what they're saying is, G, if you're going based upon the playoffs too, that LeBron should have won that award. This is what they're saying.
How? LeBron shouldn't have won it over AD. If you're going to talk about somebody, talk about AD.
AD was
Stop
out.
talking about LeBron.
AD is out in the division round. LeBron was still scoring 40-plus points in the finals. I'm just saying.
What happened in the closeout game?
What closeout game?
Closeout game with the Warriors. He quit on his team?
No.
Did he not quit on his team? Did he not dap everybody off and go sit down on the bench?
Guess what? Game over.
Right there.
That's
Bring out the brooms.
Yeah, listen, we got to take our first break. Listen, don't go nowhere. FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports. Listen, when we come back from break, we're talking about is LeBron James the most important free agent this upcoming offseason. Y'all don't go nowhere. FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports.
Don't go nowhere, man. Don't go nowhere.
Come right back.
I got a serious take about this.
We'll be right back. Minute and a half. Don't go nowhere. FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports. We're gonna talk to you.
What it do, y'all? It's DJ Slick Daddy from the Liveline, here to tell you about the hottest bar on the West Bank, After Dark Sports Bar, 419 LaPelco Boulevard in Gretna. Come check us out on Monday for steak and oyster night. Thursday, free seafood night. Friday, 3-for-1 happy hour. Saturdays, ladies night, and always open for parties. And then Sunday, Saint Sunday, oldie but goodie Sunday. Come find out what is hidden for at After Dark Sports Bar, 419 LaPelco Boulevard in Gretna. Doors open at 6, 12 p.m. on Sundays. After Dark is a non-smoking atmosphere.
Hey, it's your girl Black Coco, and tune in with me Thursdays at 9 p.m. where we talk everything sex, from the latest sex topics to the latest sex trends and a few exotic dancers. Plus, you never know who might drop in. Tune in with me on the Pleasure Hour, only on New Orleans Talk Network.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy DJ Slick Daddy.
This DJ Slick 514.
And of course, I'm your girl, Black Coco.
Tune into the Live Line, New Orleans Talk Network, every Tuesday, 7 to 8:30 with all the trending topics.
And you can also check out my mix, DJ Slick Mix Quote 1 and 2.
And of course, check out Coco's Sex Tips of the Week.
And hashtag TTBS. That's that bullshit. It's the Live Line, New Orleans Talk Network, Tuesday, 7 to 8:30. We're always live. Let's go.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports. Listen, I want to give everybody, listen, y'all want y'all to follow New Orleans Talk Network. Instagram, NOTN Talk. On Twitter, NOTN Talk. Also follow them on Facebook at New Orleans Talk Network. Also follow New Orleans Talk Network on YouTube. They got their own YouTube channel, New Orleans Talk Network. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter, baby. FanView NOLA. Follow us on Instagram, FanView Live. And also add a friend, tag a friend to FanView Live on Facebook. We get it in, we get it popping. I'm always posting videos. Follow my man G Sports on Facebook. Because guess what? There's a lot of videos that he's posting about high school talent that's coming up. Trust me, there are a lot of talent coming up in the Tri-Parish that my man G Sports is following. And trust me, when he puts it up there, the kid is serious. The kid is deep. The kid, he like to say, he like that. He like that. So y'all follow my man G Sports. Follow FanView on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram on FanView Live. Follow us on Twitter on FanView NOLA. And again, if you want to give us a call in 504-341-8255. That's the number to call in for this show. Listen, we're getting ready to talk about NBA free agency. Is LeBron James the number one overall free agent heading into this offseason? Or is there another player that's more important this upcoming offseason? But I'm going to read some of the comments before we get in here. Shane Nelson, I want to see P3 to get him one. He lost. Arthur Watts said, yeah, he's the best take. Come on, man. The man tried carrying the Cavs team, shaking my head. He was definitely needed. You know, Arthur Watts says, you know, man, me too. Sean Nelson, LeBron, you dig? There's a lot of comments on here, you know. So the question is LeBron James the most important free agent this offseason? Is he the number one guy? And I'm going to give y'all my take about this. I think LeBron James heading into his 15th season, being 33 years old, I understand that he's the most valuable type of player because he scores, he rebounds the basketball, he assists the basketball. He does everything that you're looking for from a complete player as far as a game. But I don't think LeBron James has 5 to 7 seasons anymore of basketball left. I think he's a person of target, and he's a target of interest. But I think the most important free agent going to this offseason, as bad as people don't want to hear this, is that I think it's Kawhi Leonard. Even though he's not actually a free agent. Mm-hmm. I think he's the person because you got to start looking at the facts that Kawhi Leonard came into the league in 2011 versus 2003. So this guy here can give you 10 plus seasons pending health. LeBron James, whether he's healthy or not to me, can only give me a maximum of 3 or 4 seasons. After this, LeBron James, regardless of how far time catches up with everybody, though. I don't care who you are. It catches up to you. Yeah, can LeBron James make you an NBA champion contender overnight? Yes, he can. But is he a franchise builder at this point in time in his career? No. He's not a franchise builder. He's the missing piece for you maybe getting to the championship. But Kawhi Leonard, going to this offseason, is a franchise player. And this is what you're looking for right now going into the season. Yeah, he only played 9 games last year because of a hip. But I know when he was healthy, he gave me 26 points. I know when he's healthy, he's the best overall defensive player in the league. This is what we're looking at as far as a franchise player. Now, I understand that he only wants to play for the Lakers. But if the Lakers can find a way to acquire that guy, this guy can still give you 10 more plus seasons. No, he will never average 27 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists like LeBron James can. I don't expect another player in a long time to do what LeBron James has done for the NBA. But LeBron James got me 3 more seasons left. That's how I see it. So is he the most important free agent going to this free agency? No. Is he the missing ingredient for you winning the championship? Yes, he is. But is he the most important free agent going to the offseason? That guy, to me, resides in San Antonio. And I think he doesn't want to play there. I think he doesn't want to be there. But he can give me 10 more plus seasons than LeBron James can. So that's my guy who I'm saying right now going into the offseason. That's the guy I'm trying to get onto my team. But the problem is he only wants to play for one organization, and that's the Lakers. But even if you do acquire him, if you're a team who's a playoff team, if you feel like you can win, I think you could probably change his mind. But then again, I don't know. But at the end of the day, to me, he is the most important domino this offseason.
Fred, you gotta be more tuned in into what's going on, man.
Okay, go ahead.
LeBron James is definitely the most important free agent this offseason. He is the reason why Paul George is not making a decision. He is the reason why
Paul George is the most important free agent.
Yeah, he is the reason why Chris Paul is hesitant to sign with the Rockets.
Because Chris Paul is the most important free agent.
He is the reason why Paul George don't know what he want to do.
But he ain't the reason why Kawhi want to do what he want to do.
Yes, it is. He is holding up free agency.
Who?
LeBron James. LeBron James. He's holding up everything. You know why? Because everybody and their mama know if you got a good head on your shoulders.
Right.
Wherever LeBron go, you know you got a damn good shot
to
get to the finals and possibly win a ring. So, man, LeBron can say he going to Milwaukee. LeBron can pick, it's 30 teams in the NBA?
30 teams.
It's probably 20 teams he can go to, and they probably have a great chance.
But how long that's going to last?
See, that's the problem. See, you thinking about 3 years from now. With LeBron, you got to be thinking about right now. I'm thinking about trying to win right now.
But you got to remove so many assets.
You're a free agent. You're a free agent.
So you're LeBron.
So look. You either could sign him, go over the luxury tax, pay that luxury. It's a lot of different things you could do. Or you could do a signing tree. It's a lot of different things you could do to make this work. Guess what? For LeBron James, we gonna make it work. We gonna figure it out. And all I'm saying is
you gotta move around so many pieces.
If LeBron
just to make it work.
Listen. LeBron go to Philly. I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and I just want you to answer the question. Don't elaborate. Just answer the question.
Yes or no?
Yes or no. If LeBron James go to the 76ers, will they have a chance to win the ring? Will it be in the finals?
Finals, yeah.
If he go to the Celtics, will it be in the finals?
They'll win that bitch.
If he went to the Rockets, will it be in the finals?
Yeah, they'll beat the Golden State.
If he went to the Spurs with Kawhi and LaMarcus Aldridge, would he be in the finals?
Yes, but I feel the same about Kawhi. If Kawhi went to the Rockets, would they be in the finals?
Yeah. Because we got 2 super ninjas over there already.
All right.
But if LeBron James go to the Milwaukee Bucks, are they in the finals?
They in the East, of course.
I didn't ask you that. Yes or no?
In the East.
Are they in the finals?
Yeah, they're in the finals. If Kawhi Leonard goes to them.
If LeBron James say he going to, let me see.
If Kawhi
Portland. If LeBron James say he going to Portland, are they in the finals?
I don't know. They got Team USA Junior over there.
Listen.
Team USA Junior over there. They got Team USA Junior
with Damian Lillard,
I don't know.
CJ McCollum, and LeBron James, they got a good shot. They got a shot. They got a great shot. Now, are they better than Golden State? Probably not. But the point I'm making
for the hitter now, yes, they do have a shot to beating the Golden State Warriors. But is that something that you can build for the next 3 to 5 years?
Listen. Somebody like Portland, man, you're not worrying about 3 to 5 years down the road. You're worrying about right now. These people trying to get a ring right now. We trying to bring our franchise back to prominence. We trying to make people get jobs. You know, when you bring a winning culture to a city, everybody start getting jobs. Jobs just start popping up out the ground. You got a job. It changes things. The economy changes. LeBron James is the most important piece, the most important player, period.
This free agency.
In free agency.
wherever he goes, you know it's a good shot that they're gonna be in the finals.
But you only have this is a 2 or 3 year rental.
I keep telling you.
It's 2 or 3 year
If I'm Daryl Morey for the Rockets, right?
Yeah.
Guess what?
Because you got 2 stars already.
If I'm
you're trying to win now. They're in the win now situation.
Okay, let me go to somebody else. Let's say who let's say let's say the Indiana Pacers.
Okay.
If LeBron James went to the Pacers, you don't think they be in the finals?
Then East. Yeah.
You keep saying it in the East, man. Let me ask you this. If Paul George go back to the Pacers, they in the finals?
No.
All right then. So you're making my point.
I didn't say Paul George.
You're making my point.
I say Paul George.
If DeMarcus Cousins go to the Pacers, are they in the finals?
No.
If Kevin Durant,
Kawhi.
If Kevin Durant go to the Pacers, are they in the finals?
I told you he's a superstar role player tendencies.
All right then. So you're making my point.
I said Kawhi. If Kawhi go to the Pacers, they got to try to be in the finals.
They're not in the finals like that. They're not. The 76ers probably take them out. That's how much LeBron James makes a difference. Let's not be disrespectful.
Nah. Arthur White says this. G, right? Anywhere he goes, he's going to be nice. And Sean Nelson says Kawhi not a free agent. But here's the deal. He's not a free agent. But at the end of the day, he wants to be removed to add him to the category.
Jerome, Sean Nelson makes a good hold up. He say the question isn't if you're starting your franchise. The question isn't if you start a franchise today, who you're taking. The question is who's the most important free agent. LeBron James.
Now Kawhi Leonard is not a free agent.
I see you,
putting him in there.
I see you, Sean.
He's not a free agent, but he wants to be removed. So I'm adding him to the category. But to me, because of the age, I'm saying to myself, listen, that's the guy I want to target because I can have him for a longer period of time.
Kawhi is not a franchise changer as much as LeBron James.
There's only 3 players that's like that in the league.
Is that LeBron fault? Is that LeBron fault because he's a franchise changer?
To use my words against me.
I'm just saying. So why this shouldn't even be a topic. Who the most important free agent in free agency is LeBron James. Hands down, it ain't even close. If Paul George
ain't a top free agent. I'm talking about Kawhi. Kawhi is my guy.
If Kawhi went to the Pacers, they would not be in the finals. Now,
he could be.
No,
he could be Boston.
They're not going to the finals.
He could be Boston.
They're not beating the 76ers.
Stop.
They're not.
They are.
They're not.
They are.
They're not.
They is.
I promise you they're not. If
LeBron
stayed in Cleveland.
I put Kawhi on Ben Simmons. Beat those people do what they want to do.
If LeBron stayed in Cleveland, if Kawhi Leonard was in Indiana, they wouldn't beat LeBron. They go to the finals.
We don't know that.
I'm telling you. Look, that's facts.
We don't know that.
That's not an opinion. It's a fact.
Kawhi Leonard, that dude now.
He is that dude.
He's that dude now.
He's that dude. Now look now. We don't know. And
Kawhi Leonard got an NBA Finals MVP.
This gonna sound like I'm hating.
You got an NBA Finals MVP now.
This gonna sound like I'm low key hating. It's gonna sound like I'm low key hating, but I'm gonna just put it out there. We don't know how Kawhi gonna operate when he not in that Spurs system. That system make you look really good. I'm just saying. We don't know how Kawhi gonna do if he goes somewhere and he's the main guy and you're not in that Spurs system. The jury's still out on this. So I don't know. We haven't
seen him play anywhere else.
We know if LeBron James go anywhere, he can go to 20 teams in the NBA, and you know that Vegas gonna shoot their odds up to go to the finals.
This is what we know about Kawhi. This is what we know about Kawhi. When he plays 82 games, he's the best two-way player in the league, offensively and defensively. We know he's gonna give you 25 points. We know he's gonna have 7 to 8 rebounds. The only thing he does not do that LeBron does exceptionally is pass the basketball. He don't pass. He don't have that many assists, folks. He got about 3 assists a game. He don't pass the basketball. But we know that he's a two-time league defensive player of the year. This is what we know. We know he's gonna score buckets. We know he's gonna get 25, 26 points. We know he can shoot 35, 36% from 3. We know that he's gonna score maybe 50% from the field. This is what we know about Kawhi. Now we don't know what he's gonna operate from the Spurs system because he came into the league averaging 5 points a game and got to 25 points a game. See, we understand that he didn't come into the league as a scorer. That wasn't his game.
Right.
He's a scorer now. That took time. That took progression. But what we do know about this guy, when he's healthy, this guy's gonna be the best two-player player in the game.
I'm not I'm not going.
That we know.
I don't even have a good rebuttal for that because that's a great point you're making. My point is this: LeBron James
got 3
is
years
a
left.
different breed.
He is. He got 3 years left.
Maybe so.
Kawhi got 10.
That's neither here nor there.
True.
But my point is, LeBron James does so much more for your team. Kawhi, yes, he's a great two-way player. Right. He's arguably the best two-way player in the league. LeBron James brings that other dimension to the game. Some of the stuff that LeBron brings to the game don't even show up in the station.
This is why I see he's the most complete player in the game.
For him to get to the finals with that roster,
it's bad. Yeah, he cool.
Says a lot. So let me ask you this. If Kawhi Leonard was on that Cavs team,
ain't a player in that Cavs team could take that team to the finals. There ain't a player in the league that could take that team to the finals except LeBron James.
Well,
there ain't a player in the league.
I make my case.
Not Harden, not Kawhi. There ain't a player in this league that could have made that team go to the finals. They ain't a player in the league.
So you're making my point.
But here's the difference though. That guy has 10 more seasons left of basketball pending health.
You keep talking. Listen,
that matters.
If I'm an NBA owner, if I'm an NBA owner, man, I don't give a damn about 5 years right now. I want to win.
Tickets, G.
I want to win now. If I know if I add LeBron James to my roster, we gonna win. We got a chance to win one or two rings. I'm bringing him because guess what? That's gonna bring so much money to my city, so much money to my franchise, and guess what? Now we could build on this and possibly get.
You can't build on LeBron. It's 3 years. It's 2-3 seasons.
You don't think if you bring LeBron James to your franchise and y'all win 1 or 2 rings, now when you go out trying to go in free agency and get some of these key players, they like this. I want to come there. I want to come add on to the ring collection.
No, it don't add on. I got 1 more season to add on, and after that I'm by myself, and I can't do what he do.
See, you can't look at it like that. You can't look at it.
He got 3 years left.
You can't look at it like that. You can't look at it like that.
He's played.
You can't look at it like that.
He's played 15 seasons and been in the finals 9 times. This guy, Uncle Tom, catches up to everybody. Uncle Tom catches up to every player. I don't forecast LeBron James at this level still playing 5 more years from now. The man gonna say, I got 3 or 4 or 5 rings.
I'm not disputing it.
I'm done.
You said who's the most? The question is who's the most important free agent?
This free agent.
In this free agency. Yeah. And it's LeBron James. Do I need to say it again? LeBron James. He is a franchise changer. Wherever he goes, you got a shot.
That's
facts.
Facts. I can't argue on that.
Just saying.
That part there, put a little dagger. That part, I can't argue. That's the facts.
Hey, watch. Just watch FanView. All the fans that watch it. Just watch when Paul George make his decision. He's going to have a little buzz, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you're going to hit some
August Cousins. Gonna have a little buzz. Don't get me wrong for about a day.
Yeah.
See what LeBron James make his decision where he's taking his talent to. It's gonna be all over every major network
for a week.
For a week and a half. That's what LeBron James do. I guarantee you, if Paul George decide he going to the Lakers, if he decide he going to the Sixers, wherever the hell he decide he going, they might take a couple weeks. I don't even know they'll sell out all their season tickets. See if LeBron James say he going somewhere, they gonna sell out that day.
So what you're saying is
that day by midnight they're gonna be sold out.
So you say when Kawhi gets traded, we got 24 hours of buzz, maybe 2 days of buzz, 48 hours. And when LeBron signs, it's a week and a half. We got 10 days, 15. We got the rest of the summer until the playoffs, until training camp starts. It's a bad man. That's a bad man.
Hey, Arthur Watts makes a great point. Uncle Tom does come, but it's when he comes. Look at LeBron James' body, man. Dude in shape. And to piggyback off
best season.
To piggyback off of what Arthur Watts is saying.
Had the best season.
See, what y'all gotta realize. Do y'all know? Little fun fact. Do y'all know LeBron James spend the most money on his body out of everybody in the league? He spends $1.6 million on his body a year. Guess what? And how he played in his 16th season this year?
Showed it.
He was second in the MVP voting. My case is closed. LeBron James, wherever he go, you got a shot to put a ring on your finger.
Now, Jay Howard says anywhere in the East,
Chris Cooper says, her LeBron James will make a decision July 4th. 4th of July.
I think he gonna make it before that.
I think he'll make it before that, too. But I think one of his dominoes is could Kawhi Leonard become a Laker too? I think that's a factor for him. I think the destination is LA. We talked about that. Destination going to LA. I think that's his destination. But I think one of his dominoes is also can Kawhi Leonard become a Laker also. But I don't think he needs that to happen for him to become a Laker. I think all signs are pointing towards LA. That's just a sign.
So much gotta go on for Kawhi to get the man. The Lakers offered the Spurs Brandon Ingram and 2 first-round picks. These people say they want Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and 2 first-round picks.
It's a lot.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot. The Spurs trying to play hardball, and guess what? At the end of the day,
you're going to end up losing a player that you're not going to get nothing for.
There you go.
He going to opt out and walk away from nothing. So at some point in time, if you're San Antonio, you got to come to the conclusion that you're not re-signing this guy. So you're going to have to get something of value because at the end of the day, he's put the league on notice that guess what? I'm not re-signing with none of your teams. So those other teams have made it a person that I'm not offering, the house to acquire that player because he's already made it very, very evident that I'm not re-signing here. So guess what? At some point in time, your only business partner in this deal is the Lakers. Mm-hmm. Get Brandon Ingram in return. Go ahead and take that Luol Dean bad contract in return. Get 1 or 2 of them first round picks and call that shit a wrap. Call it over with. Move on to something different.
Sean Nelson make a good point. He a Laker fan. I don't want to give up any youngsters for Kawhi. Why give up any of them dudes when you know Kawhi coming?
He coming
next year.
He coming.
I'm not giving up. Listen, if I'm Magic Johnson, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, you're off limits. Now Julius Randle, if you want him, I'll send him to you. Lonzo Ball, you too. You're expendable.
Yeah.
Kyle Kuzma and Brandon Ingram, they off limits. That gotta be in the discussion. Y'all off limits. I'm sorry. It need to be said. Like, Magic Johnson need to come out and make a statement. Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, y'all off limits.
Right.
That needs to come out. Why you gonna give up Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma and 2 first-round picks and Kawhi was gonna come there anyway next year?
He's coming.
Come on, man. Stop.
Now Jay Howard said no, it's because Ingram junk. He sees Ingram as junk.
See, Jay Howard, I don't know if you own something or coming off it, but Brandon Ingram is a young player in this league. He's making strides. Let it play out, dog. I don't like to call somebody a bust or call somebody junk.
Right.
Until they probably in their third or fourth season. You know what I'm saying? After the third or fourth season.
Not evidence has showed that he's not the player that he's projected to be coming out of college.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you go to Duke. That's late on the
show.
You go to Duke, your game can't expand. Coach K limits you. He limits you. He put shackles on you. Just saying.
It's not my fault that Dan Tony. It's not my fault that Patino can't get the full extent out of players.
How? Terry Rozier?
He didn't get the full extent out of him.
Donovan Mitchell?
He didn't get the full extent out of him.
Stop.
And they were great. They'd have been top 5 players.
Stop,
They'd have been top athletes. They'd have been top 5 in the draft. It's not his fault.
Would you say you rather have a great college career or a great pro career?
Both.
You got to pick one.
Both.
Pro or college?
Pro career.
All right, then.
But we talking about a rookie.
I think it's safe. I think
it's talking about a rookie.
I think it's safe to say Donovan Mitchell and Terry Rozier are on their way up.
They had one great season.
They're at the top of the stairs and they looking down on everybody.
One great season. Can they follow it up?
Let it play out.
Can it play out?
Let it play out.
Follow it up.
Let it play out.
See.
Ingram and Kyle Kuzma, PJ Brown says, Ingram and Kyle Kuzma are off limits. I ain't trading them for Kawhi when there's a chance he gonna walk from the Spurs anyway.
He gonna walk.
That's what I said.
He's gonna walk. He gonna walk from any. Listen, Kawhi Leonard is walking from any team. Unless it's a dominant winning situation that he got traded to that says not LA, he's walking. It's the same thing with Paul George. I got people who hit me up this morning. Hey man, Fred, you heard about Paul George? He opted out. I said, bitch, the world knew he was opting out, bitch. I mean, follow the other big road. I mean, you're playing Westbrook for crying out loud. I mean, he's opting out. Mm-hmm. The only person who opted in was Melo. Why? Because he can't make $27 million anywhere else. I mean, he's not valued at that anymore. He opted in. That tells me he don't want to win. That already showed me that when he opted in for that money, well, that boy ain't trying to win. That's a business move.
Paul George sees I got 10 more seasons left. I got 10 more maybe great seasons in me. Boy, that boy opt out. For $24 million, boy, look, I could get more money. And if I don't get more money, I could be in a winning situation.
First of all, when I saw Carmelo Anthony opt in, if I'm Paul George like this, I'm opting out.
I'm opting out. I'm opting out.
Boy, you opting in? I'm opting out. I don't want to play with you and that crazy ass boy at Westbrook.
I'm out.
I'm going. I'm going to holler at y'all. And it's in Oklahoma City. I don't even have a Dave and Buster's. I'm going.
You're back.
I'm going to LA where the weather is 60 to 70 degrees in the days. Between 50 and 60 at night where I gotta put a little hoodie on.
That's it.
You gotta worry about no mosquitoes biting you, no humid.
That's it.
Oh man, I'm going to LA, man.
I'm going to LA.
But LeBron James is sitting back like this.
Magic. Do what you do.
Whenever y'all decide to sign, notify me, and then I'm gonna make my decision. He plays he hold the cards in all of this.
Now Chris Cooper says, but they know LeBron James won't sign until Leonard signs and Paul George. So Spurs have more power in this trade.
Listen, the Spurs are going to be on the outside looking in if they don't make the right decision. You know, y'all keep talking about y'all don't want to trade him to the West and y'all going to hold on to him. All right, be stupid. Guess what? If I'm Kawhi and I'm his people, I'm like this. Man, for some reason, my Kawhi is starting to get a little worse than it was. I don't think I can play the first 30 games of the season. Pop, what you think? I think my hamstring starting to bother me a little bit too. I don't think I'm good to go. My party that I'm confiding in, they saying it's not best for my career to go out there and play for you guys while my quad and my hamstring is bothering me. I'm gonna sit these 30 games out. Now, you think Popovich, the competitiveness in him, wants to go through something like that without his best player?
No.
You better make a smart decision right here. Buford, the GM, better make the right decision before the season starts.
I would say this though: if I'm
get rid of him.
If I'm the Spurs, I would ask for Ingram. I ask for Ingram. I would take your bad deal in Luol Deng as a bonus. I take the bad deal.
Now, I'm gonna take. They gotta pay Luol Deng $36 million over the next 2 years. If I'm gonna do that, y'all gotta give me 3 first-round picks. What the hell was Bus thinking about when he signed Luol Deng?
That's why he's not there. He signed Ingram, he signed Deng, and he signed Timothy DeMarco.
Lopez.
He signed Deng and Timothy DeMarco.
Overpaid the hell out of them boys.
So he got to take something in return. I'm gonna get Ingram. I'm gonna get this bad deal. And that's just what it is.
Dr. Bus is turning over in his grave as we speak.
You're bad. I know.
Some bad deals.
I know.
Luol Deng didn't even play last year like talking about.
Got $16, $17 million. Got paid. PJ Brown says, ain't no horse flies in LA.
None.
D-Nail says, they trying to make room on LeBron now, and they would be the only consideration to trade any of those two guys. Still taking a chance on that deal. And my man Quentin Young said LeBron has until midnight Friday to opt in or out. Boy, LeBron opting out. That's not news. I don't want anybody texting me saying LeBron opt out. Boy, everyone in the world knows LeBron opting out.
Right.
That's not news. That's like that Paul George. Follow the other big role.
And I
follow Dorothy.
Right.
He's opting out.
Yeah. Follow Dorothy. Follow Dorothy. Cute little Dorothy. You know what I'm saying? Look like she ain't had no drawers on in that movie in Wizard of Oz. But anyway.
Anyway.
Yeah.
He's opting out.
Dorothy looked good in that Wizard of Oz now. But the point is, what the Lakers are trying to do right now, I just don't know if it's going to happen the way they want it to happen. Like, because LeBron James,
he's that important.
Has already made it clear that family is important. See, that's what these people got to realize.
Yeah.
With his son coming up in the 8th grade right now, so now they want to get somewhere where they know he's going to be settled in for high school. Yeah. That's look like that's a real focal point right now for LeBron James. So that's why I think that it's either the Lakers or he's staying in Cleveland. And so, right now, if the Lakers can't make Paul George or make this trade for Kawhi, look, like people saying LeBron should just go there and waste a year. Hell no. Hell no. And put more weight on his body. For what? For what?
He don't love LA like that.
So
that has to be a winning situation.
I'm telling y'all right now, if Paul George don't sign with the Lakers, LeBron James is gonna be in Cleveland. Cause guess what? If I'm gonna do hard times and go through some stuff, I'm going to go through some stuff in my hometown. With Cleveland. Because guess what? He's not expected to win anyway. So if he loses in Cleveland this year, nobody going to crucify him.
Right.
But if you go to the Lakers.
Right.
And go there for a year and waste a year, and now you got to wait on Kawhi to come the next year. It's just too much.
It's too much.
It's too much. So you might as well stay in Cleveland with your family and just play it out like that. And then next year, if you want to leave.
Now, Sean Nelson says Ding and Mozgov the worst moves ever. They signed him at the same time. Somehow they got off the Mozgov deal by trading him for Brook Lopez. They still stuck with Ding. Chris Cooper says, honestly, I'm not excited about Paul George with LeBron with the Lakers. Even with Ingram and Kuzma, adding Kawhi is the key. I would agree with that. If I say Kawhi, Kawhi is the most important free agent to me.
I got to disagree with that, man. You add Paul George with LeBron, with Kuzma and Ingram. You go ahead and I know they probably going to get rid of Brook Lopez because of that contract. You go find you somebody that can protect that room for you and just rebound hard for you.
Julius Randle gone too as a restricted free agent. He's going to be out there too.
With Lonzo Ball, I like that lineup. Is it good enough to beat the Warriors? I don't know. But, I would even put that roster ahead of Houston.
I would.
If you acquire Paul George, LeBron James, with Ingram and Kuzma, I'll put that roster ahead of the Rockets. And I think that makes the Lakers the second best team in the West. And now, guess what? I'm going to just play it out.
Right.
I'm going to just play it out and see how we can go with these guys in a 7-game series. So, and then you're in LA, man. You're in LA, man. Beverly Hills, man. Rodeo Drive, man. Venice Beach, man.
It's on and popping.
Lord.
Well, listen, don't go nowhere, guys. Let's be coming back from break. Listen, when we come back from break, listen, we're talking about what team has the most pressure. What NBA team has the most pressure to improve this offseason? Y'all don't go nowhere. FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports.
I think with the team I got, gonna surprise y'all.
Y'all stay right here. FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports, New Orleans Talk Network. Don't go to minute and a half. Right back. Gotta have this conversation. Turn it down for what? Yeah.
Turn down for what?
What it do, y'all? It's DJ Slick Daddy from the Liveline, here to tell you about the hottest bar on the West Bank, After Dark Sports Bar, 419 LaPelka Boulevard in Gretna. Come check us out on Monday for steak and oyster night. Thursday, free seafood night. Friday, 3-for-1 happy hour. Saturdays, ladies night, and always open for parties. And then Sunday, Saint Sunday, oldie but goodie Sunday. Come find out what is hidden for at After Dark Sports Bar, 419 LaPelka Boulevard in Gretna. Doors open at 6, 12 p.m. on Sundays. After Dark is non-smoking atmosphere.
What's up, readers and shakers? It's your girl, Rhonda M. Lawson, sending you a personal invite to the Literary Lounge. Tune in to Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the best in literary conversation. Each week, a different author will join us to talk to their most important readers, you. You can also call in to ask your own questions. So don't forget, each Wednesday at 7 p.m., join us in the lounge for Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. See you there.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports, New Orleans Talk Network. Listen, y'all tune into New Orleans Talk Network on YouTube, New Orleans Talk Network. They have their own channel. Follow New Orleans Talk Network at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Again, the Instagram and Twitter is NOTN Talk. Follow New Orleans Talk Network on Instagram and Twitter, NOTN Talk. Don't forget to follow FanView on Facebook, FanView Live. Follow us on Instagram at FanView Live. And on Twitter, FanView Nolan. Don't forget to follow my man G Sports on Facebook at G Sports. Again, this man puts out all, if it's football and basketball when it comes to high school sports, especially down here in the state of Louisiana,
G Sports got it. There ain't another media guy that does it better than G Sports. If you want to really know the real on who like that and who ain't like that in the state of Louisiana, G Sports got that. I don't follow nobody else. If anybody who I don't know who like that, first my man G Sports. He gonna know. It's just like that. That's just how that goes. But listen, gotta have this topic. This is the last hour of the show. We got the football, top receivers, top corners in the league. Gotta get into that. Gotta get into Jameis Winston. But right now we're gonna talk about, what team right now, what NBA team has to improve, who has the most pressure to improve this NBA offseason. Now, a lot of people thinking that it's the Lakers. The Lakers have improved the most because they have the most popularity, around a lot of teams, in a lot of situations. But my team that needs to improve the most, because now they have the expectations, to me, is the Boston Celtics. I say, why the Boston Celtics, Fred? Because you just made the conference finals. Now, I understand that Gordon Hayward wasn't there. Now, I understand Kyrie Irving wasn't there. But it still doesn't mean that you're destined to get to the NBA Finals next year. You got to the conference finals 2 years in a row now. You lost to LeBron James. You had IT 1 year. This year you had Terry Rozier at point guard. But now you reach the point where the expectation now is to get to the finals. So if you're the Boston Celtics now, 2 years in the conference finals, played the Cavs, lost to the Cavs. It doesn't, because every team is going to improve in some way. But the pressure is on now, Danny Ainge. See, this ain't about getting draft picks no more, Danny Ainge. This ain't about, he got all these picks from the Brooklyn Nets. He knows how to build a franchise. I need to know if you can win now, Boston. I need to know if you can get to that game. I didn't know you could get to the finals, Boston. I know Kyrie wasn't there, but that don't matter no more. I know Gordon Hayward wasn't there. That don't matter, G. You got to get to the NBA Finals now. That's the expectation for the Boston Celtics. So here's the question. The pressure's on you now. Who do you add to your team to make sure that you are the team of choice that's going to make the conference, they're going to make the NBA Finals come out of the East, regardless of injury? Regardless if a Kyrie Irving get hurt. Regardless if a Gordon Hayward get hurt. Pressure's on you. Because now, we don't want to hear about, he outsmarted somebody. He got this good player. He got this good player. He got Terry Rozier. He got Jason Tatum. He got Jalen Brown. All that sounds good now. Can you get to the finals? Pressure's on. See, I'm not going to find a team like the Lakers and say, it's obvious. Stating the obvious don't make you an expert. We say that all the time. What's the pressure now? It's the Boston Celtics. Because at the end of the day, if you don't make the NBA Finals, then the question I ask myself, Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge, what are you doing? What is the purpose of all these picks? You have to, now those picks have to transform into winning. Winning isn't just, getting the number 1 seed in the West or the East. That's not winning. Winning is getting to the NBA Finals and competing for the ultimate championship now. What are you going to do? The pressure's on Boston Celtics.
I think that's a great point you just made, but I think that the Dallas Mavericks had the most pressure. Mark Cuban, you probably the most talkative, the most opinionated owner in sports. You've been irrelevant for the last 2 to 3 years, maybe longer than that.
Yes.
You beat LeBron James and them.
Yes.
2012.
Yes.
When they first, souped up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and you took them down, you won that, and we haven't heard a thing from y'all since, really. You know what I'm saying? I think they made the playoffs a couple years after that, but
we haven't heard from you since.
The last 2 or 3 years, they have been irrelevant. They're gonna have $26 million in cap space this summer. Probably more than that if they could decline the option with Dirk, because Dirk is due to get $5 million, but they decline that and probably sign Dirk to a little less than that. You know what I'm saying? But the Mavericks, with Dennis Smith Jr., he is the future of that team. If you could sign DeMarcus Cousins.
You also drafted the kid out of Europe.
Dragic. How you pronounce his name?
Luka Doncic.
If you could go ahead and get DeMarcus Cousins to sign there
with Harrison Barnes,
even though I think Harrison Barnes is overpaid like a mug, they got to pay him $24 million this year. But if you could get Doncic with Dennis Smith, and you get DeMarcus Cousins in there, and if you get those in there with Harrison Barnes, and then you get a couple of other pieces to come
and sign there and get some good role players to sign there, like somebody like J.J. Redick or somebody, and a couple of other pieces. Now you in the hunt to be a top 4 team in the West.
Right.
Does that mean they're going to be good enough to take down the Warriors or the Rockets of that nature?
Most likely not.
Probably not, but they'll make that series very, very competitive. And, you
Agreed.
know, so I think the Mavericks has a lot of pressure on them. Mark Cuban, you're always in the headlines. You're always in the media. You're always saying stuff. You got to deliver.
Yeah, deliver.
You got to deliver and get a big name in there. I think DeMarcus Cousins is probably somebody that they got a good shot to get. Clint Capella, even though he's a restricted free agent, so if Mark Cuban want to offer him some money, the Rockets can match it.
Right.
So I think Clint Capella is somebody else you could probably like try to lure in there. And
DeAndre Jordan. Even though
DeAndre Jordan, another one.
You didn't get him a few years ago.
And they already had him. Yeah, you almost had him a couple
years
years ago. I've been hearing rumors about them trying to go up to Julius Randle. I don't think.
No, that's not the guy.
I don't think that's somebody because Julius Randle gonna want to get paid, and DeMarcus Cousins or Clint Capella or DeAndre Jordan, one of those three, that's gonna submit your front court.
Correct.
With Dennis Smith, Harrison Barnes, and Donick that you got from overseas, now your roster is looking promising, and no telling how good they can be. I mean, next year I think they could be a top 4, top 5 team in the West, but you don't know how good that team can get going forward because Boogie is still fairly young.
Correct.
Harrison Barnes is fairly young.
Everyone's still in the third.
Donick is going to be young. Dennis Smith Jr. is young. Yeah, Dirk is probably on his way out.
Correct.
But things that look promising. So I think Mark Cuban has the most pressure.
Dallas is a big market, and you do have to perform it because he speaks a lot. He speaks a lot, and a lot of people
always in the media.
Always in the media. Always in the media, and he has to get a big name. The last time we heard about Dallas was when he didn't sign. Actually, when he didn't sign DeAndre Jordan. You know, getting Harrison Barnes was one critical component, but Harrison Barnes has showed that he's not a franchise player. He's actually a 3rd or 4th reserve player. Should be for somebody's team. Dennis Smith Jr. You know, Dennis Smith Jr. had a phenomenal rookie season, but again, it wasn't enough to win 40+ games. You know, but you draft a kid out of Europe, you know, Luka Donick, but now you need that marketable all-star player.
But did Donick finally decide that he's going to come over?
We don't know that yet.
Because I know
you traded for him.
I know a month ago he was saying, you know, he wasn't sure if he was ready to come to the States.
You don't know. We don't know. All we know that you traded for his rights.
That might be a project.
Yeah. All we know that you traded for his rights.
Right.
So, but Dallas has been a marketable name throughout from the 2000s. And now that you're not relevant, you haven't been around since your rights, since 2010. So at some point in time, you do have to make, you know, a splash. A lot of pressure on you. Same thing goes to the New York Knicks, but the New York Knicks always has pressure. You know, obviously they got, you know, Porzingis, but no one else is there. He's coming off an injury. Yeah, it is a prominent for the New York Knicks to probably make a big splash. Same thing goes for the Lakers. You know, you got all this cap space. You know, Magic Johnson is there. You see what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, it does seem like, hey, listen, this summer here, a lot of pressure on you to land a big name. But I'm talking about from a winning position. I like your take on Dallas. Mark Cuban's always outspoken and always in the media. Boston, you've been to the conference finals 2 years in a row. At some point in time, I need you to get over the hump. Acquiring all these top-rated picks from Boston, from Brooklyn that you acquired over the years. Now, this has to translate into getting to the NBA Finals. Now, D. Nail says Houston has the most pressure and highest expectation. Chris Paul does not have that much time left, and we're in position to win against the team that won it all. Got a good point there. P.J. Brown said, my team that has to improve, believe it or not, I'm saying the Trailblazer. Damian Lillard and C.J. McCullough ain't going to continue to stay there and keep losing. The team can't afford to lose another one of them. Another good point. You got to understand, when you look at Portland, you say, damn, you got C.J. and you got Damian, but you're missing that wing. You got to add a wing.
I actually think Portland's in the same situation that the Wizards are in. You know, I think you got to part ways. You got to part ways with either Lillard or McCollum, whatever one. Me personally, I'm trading away Damian Lillard. If you're the Wizards, you're trading away Bradley Beal or
John Wall.
Away John Wall. Me personally, I'm trading away John Wall. Those situations, them two guys ain't gonna coexist together. Look at the playoffs. Damian Lillard was a shell of himself, but C.J. McCollum did his thing.
Right.
Bradley Beal had a great playoff. John Wall was a shell of himself. He had a couple games where he did his thing.
Correct.
And it's obvious that those two don't like each other.
Correct.
I don't know if they smashing each other holes or what's going on. But Paul Pierce already came out and said a couple years ago that they go out every night on the road. When they at home, they get drunk. Right. You know, they just living that rock
They
star life.
live that rock star life.
So, I mean, maybe they don't need to be together. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they need John Wall need to change the scenery, who is my favorite point guard in the league, by the way. And to go off of what D. Nail is saying, he's saying that the Rockets has the most pressure. Yeah and no. Yeah and no, because at the end of the day, I do think Chris Paul is going to sign back with the Rockets. He's another one that's about family. I heard the last year when he was making the decision to leave L.A. And all the changes that he was putting his family through. And they went and bought a house in Houston. They went through a lot. And I just don't see him just uprooting again and going somewhere else.
No.
I just don't see it happening. I think he wants to sign back with the Rockets. You was up 3-2. You had these people. You had your foot on their throat. I think he stays there.
I agree.
And from what James Harden is saying, James Harden sounds like he don't even want to bring nobody else in. He wants to keep the roster intact.
The way it is.
Because he feels like with that roster, they could still dethrone the Warriors. And he has a good point because you was up 3-2.
The only difference is that
he was up 3-2. If Chris Paul don't get hurt, I think they holding that Larry O'Brien trophy open up at the
I
end.
don't disagree with that. I stated on this show pretty much time, if Chris Paul plays those last 2 games, I don't think the Warriors beat them people. And I think actually you have a bigger problem. Whatever David West was talking about, I think it would have got out. You know, as far as, you know, what he was trying to express, you know, as far as, you know, things that was going on in their team that didn't get out publicly. I think a lot of that mess would have got out because they would have lost the series. I said that on this show. To me, if Chris Paul plays the last 2 games, listen, bro.
We holding the Larry O'Brien trophy up.
They figuring the people
We holding it up like this.
They figuring the people out. They figured him out. But he not playing was a big difference. He couldn't, you know, be a player coach on the sideline. He had to be actually in the game. But the problem with Houston is that now you got to bring every player back onto that team that you want to bring back at a higher number. Trevor Ariza was making $7-8 million. Now you can't bring him back for that kind of money. You can't bring Chris Paul back for $20+ million. You can't bring Clint Capella back at that restricted free agent money. So you want to bring the same team back, but everybody you're talking about bringing back is not at that same number. That number goes higher. And the biggest issue with doing that is that the Ryan Anderson contract. That's the contract that you say to yourself, man, I really overpaid for this one to bring this guy to Houston. It's easier if you was able to get rid of that guy somehow and off that number. But Chris Paul is not coming back at $20+ million season. That's a $30+ million guy. Trevor Ariza is coming back. He wants, you know, maybe somewhere near $20 million. Clint Capella, we know ain't coming back in no restricted free agent money. So that's the hard part I see with Houston. We're bringing everybody back is because at the end of the day, everybody who you're bringing back is coming at a higher number. So it's the same team, but everybody's getting. So you can't really improve it. And not to mention that guys like Gerald Green, if you could bring him back, you know, I don't know if PJ. I don't recall on my head if PJ Tucker's a free agent or not.
Nah. He just signed that contract with us.
So PJ Tucker is there and that, but Gerald Green came out the bench, who's a good spot. Hey, listen, I don't think that guy's coming down here playing for $1 million+ and $1.5 million a season. He may want $2 or $3 or $4 million a season to come back to Houston. So that's the hard part of it. But Ryan Anderson contract messes everything the freak up. So I understand where he's coming from, where the pressure is on Houston. But to me, Boston's at a point where, look, you need to get to a point where you've been in the conference finals 2 times. You got one of the best coaches in the NBA to me. You got to me, my coach of the year. I understand Kyrie got hurt. I understand Gordon Hayward, but you need to make your team to the point where at the end of the day, you can make it to the NBA finals regardless of injury. That's just my take. That's just my opinion on that. But that's no here nor there. We'll find out when the season starts. But it ain't the Lakers to me. It's the Boston Celtics. For you, it's the Magic.
It's the Mavericks.
It's Mavericks. Hey, at some point in time, Mark Cuban got to deliver. Talk a lot of noise. He got to deliver.
He the Jerry Jones of the NBA.
The NBA. They both in Dallas, baby.
There you go.
They both got the biggest mouths.
There you go.
But listen, we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to get into got to talk a little Duke basketball. For people who don't know, a lot of drama going down in Durham. A lot of drama going down in Durham. A lot of drama. For people who don't know, Wendell Carter Jr., his mom. You know, Wendell Carter Jr., people don't know, was drafted 7th overall. You know, top 5 high school rated player coming out of high school, committed to Duke. You know, his mama had things to say, you know, about the program, you know, and about college basketball. Drafted 7th overall this year in the NBA draft to the Bulls. But her mom had things to say about the NCAA. And his mom had things to say about Duke. And I think my producer got the video of her, what she had to say about the NCAA. I think the producer got that in the background. He could probably put that up for y'all and hear what she had to say about this. Producer, you got the video?
Where I've known that to be in place is slavery and the prison system. And now I see the NCAA as overseers of a system that is identical to that.
Now, obviously, those statements.
Now, that was Wendell Carter's mom, and that what she had to say about college basketball. But she also had comments when her son got drafted about Melvin Bagley, how Duke lied to her, and told them stories about how he reclassified and how they held that information away from her and her son committing to Duke, because Melvin Bagley reclassified from the 2018 class and came into Duke. And her and the family had things to say about that. G Sports, what did you take on Wendell Carter's mama, Jr., and what she had to say about the Duke? Because she blasted them. Boy, she let them have it publicly about how Duke handled the recruiting process and how they lied to them about this. What's your take about that? What's your take about moms and how they're out here, having things to say about the recruiting process? What's your take on it?
This is getting very common in this day and age with parents always making it about their child.
Yeah.
And I can understand, why some parents are very want to be very hands-on. And every parent, I understand you want the best for your child.
Right.
Wendell Carter was a top 25 player in the nation. He came to Duke. Duke sold him on the pitch that you was going to be the guy in the post. You was going to be the guy we was going to go to in the post.
Yeah.
You was going to be our main person.
You going to be the guy?
Down low. Things change.
Things change.
And if I got the opportunity to get the number one player in the nation, I'm going to do that. Who are you to tell me that I got to tell Marvin Bagley, no, you can't come to Durham, go somewhere else, because we told Wendell Carter he's going to be the only guy in the post and we're going to go through him. Man, you is crazy. That's like in a business, if I got a car dealership business and I got a guy I recruit to come sell cars to me, I'm like, look, you're going to be the main guy on my life.
Right.
Main guy. We got 8 salesmen here, but you're going to be the main guy. And then I bring another guy from another dealership that sells 30 cars a month and got all this clientele, and I come bring him in under the table.
Right.
That's a business decision. Coach K did what was best for his program.
Mm-hmm.
So why Wendell Carter mama and his father feel some type of way about that? They felt like he was going to take touches from him. Look, Wendell Carter went 7th in the draft. I really don't, even if Marvin Bagley don't go there, I still don't think he'd have went higher than what he went. So, and I think he had a pretty good season. I think he finished the season with 15-7. He had a pretty good season.
13-7.
Yes, Bagley got more to glory. But let's be realistic about this. Wendell Carter, you probably wouldn't have went higher than 7, even if Bagley didn't go there. But my next point is this, and it's going to be a little off what we're talking about.
Right.
This is why I get a little disturbed when these top players all want to go pile up at Duke. I understand that Coach K got 5 national championships on his resume. I understand the name, the Cameron Endo, the Cameron Crazies, the Duke name. I get it.
You're right.
But if you really go back and look at the history of the players when they leave Duke and go to the NBA and how their NBA career go, it ain't a whole lot of them who careers is successful. Kyrie Irving,
it's the one of recent memory.
Of recent memory, he's been having a pretty good career, but Kyrie Irving only played 10 games with Duke, so I don't really count him. I really don't count him. Right now, currently in the NBA, the only people that's really doing good, and to my standards, from Duke, is Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum, and we really can't say Jason Tatum because that was a one-year wonder right now. We got to let that thing play out. We don't know. He might fall off after a little while. I don't know. So, and
let's not get disrespectful, but keep going. Ready? Redick ain't holding his own?
JJ Redick, he's a pretty good role player in the league. Pretty good role player.
Starter.
But after those 3, you can't name nobody else in the NBA from Duke that's flourishing like that. And that's my point. Trevon Duvall
didn't get drafted.
was the #1 point guard in the nation coming out of high school.
Didn't get picked.
Why did he go to Duke? I said it when he decided to declare that he was signing with Duke. I said, bro, it's a mistake. Because when you go to Duke, Coach K puts shackle on your attributes, on the things that you could do. He's gonna conform you into what he wants you to do. He's not gonna play you to the highs of your skill set, and it hurts you when it's trying to go to the NBA. Well, and I think that that's what you're seeing with a lot of these Duke players. And I think that Wendell Carter, he doesn't really fall into that mold. But the thing about it is Bagley went to Duke and he flourished. But Bagley is a person that's like a once every 10-year player.
Correct.
So I think
he's different.
I think he's a little different.
He's different.
But
he's different.
What I said all that to say this. Going forward, like Zion Williamson decided to go to Duke, Cameron Reddish,
J.R. Barrett,
R.J. Barrett. They got number
RJ
one,
Barrett.
number 2, and number 3 overall players in the nation.
They got number 8 point guard coming in too, I think.
They should have never went there.
There's too many of them.
The type of games they play is not going to fit.
It's too many of them.
The way Coach K wants
Somebody's going to get limited. Somebody's skill set is going to get
And I
limited.
think it hurts your stock when it comes to going to the NBA. That's my whole thing. Man, look at Jahlil Okafor. Look at Jabari Parker. These guys were the household names when it came to Duke.
Brandon Ingram went to Duke too now.
Brandon Ingram ain't did nothing yet. Justice Winslow. Another one. I mean, I really, truly, in the heart of hearts feel, if them guys would have went somewhere else, their game would be flourishing right now in the NBA. And that's just how I feel. That's how I feel. And I really think that people like Zion Williamson, Cameron Reddish, and R.J. Barrett, they're going to regret going to Duke. And you're going to see more of this come out. When I really started figuring out that Coach K hurts a lot of these kids when they go to the Duke, especially like type of players like Zion Williamson and Cameron Reddish or them kind of guys. Chris Duhon, a Louisiana native.
Right.
The #1 point guard in the nation coming out of high school.
Out of Selman.
Went to Duke. Was a Gatorade player that went to Duke and was a goddamn shell of himself. He was a damn role player at Duke. Coach K changed the way he shoot the ball, changed everything about his game.
He went to the league.
He went to the league and was a role player.
Got paid.
If Chris Duhon goes anywhere else, I think his career turns out different. It's certain type of players that has to go to Duke. And I'm telling you, Cam Reddish, Zion Williamson, and R.J. Barrett for this year's class going to regret going there. And I think that Wendell Carter's mom is kind of overreacting.
She is.
She's overreacting.
She is.
Because Wendell Carter I think he's a typical Duke player. Like, I think he fits what Coach K likes to do.
Right. He can be a sophomore in the junior season.
Right. But when you bring somebody like Bagley in, it changed things. Right. And just be glad you went at 7 because you went higher than it.
I don't think Wendell Carter Jr. was a top 2 or 3 talent. I don't think Wendell Carter Jr. wasn't better than DeAndre Ayton. I don't think Wendell Carter Jr. Could he have been picked over Jaren Jackson? Possibly, but he went 7th overall. This is about him being a Chicago Bull now. At the end of the day, this ain't about his time at Duke. At the end of the day, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if Wendell Carter would have had 4 more points. He still would have got picked, I think, at 7th or 6th overall.
But she feels that he would have been probably a top 3 pick if Bagley didn't go there. That's what she's insinuating.
Yeah, that's what she's implying. And I disagree with that. I don't think Wendell Carter I don't think he's athletic enough to have done that. I think he's actually a guy that his game is kind of fitting what Coach K wants to do. Yeah. He could be.
He was a good fit for Duke.
Yeah, he's a good fit for Duke. He's a guy who could play like a junior or a senior. He wasn't athletic as you think he was. But he's a guy that, okay, if he had an injury, he should stay there 1 or 2 more seasons. He's just that kind of fit for Duke. But Melvin Bagley is a different kind of talent. At the end of the day, he's a once-in-a-10-year kind of talent basketball player. Yes, I'm going to try to get him. Yes, I'm going to tell you what I need to tell you. Reality is, that kid, if he reclassifies to come to me, this is my goal. My goal to come here and try to win the national championship. Nothing wrong with that. I think that she's off base. She's been blasting Duke the whole season long. At the end of the day, your son got picked. He's a pro player now, and you got to stop this. If you don't want him to go back to Duke,
I like what she's doing. Man, listen, I like what she's doing. I like what she's doing because I don't like Duke. And I don't like how Coach K changes everything about these kids' game when they
coming to Duke. What you expect? This ain't no Carolina.
Trevon Duvall was the number one player, the number one point guard in the nation coming out of high school.
So we feel that way about guys go to Roy Williams? He changed their game.
No, he don't. Roy Williams let you play free.
Okay, now how many guys get drafted at Roy Williams?
A lot.
Okay, so Joe Bryant. What's that other kid? Kendall Marshall.
What about him?
Why he didn't get paid? He was a top-rated player.
Kendall Marshall wasn't looked at as a top NBA prospect either. He wasn't.
What about Bill Self?
I like how Bill Self do his players. I like it. Man, look, listen, I've had conversations with people that's close to Chris Duhon. I've had private conversations with Jason Williams.
Right.
ESPN analyst was one of the best players that I ever seen play in a Duke uniform.
Between him and Redick is a toss-up.
And I asked Jason Williams at the McDonald's All-American game, I said, man, how come when you played at Duke, it just seemed like you was able to play free and play your game? He said, man, me and my dad used to talk all the time, and how Coach K, he's a micromanager. He tries to turn your game into a type of a robot.
Right.
And Jason Williams said he would just go against the grain. He said, man, I would just go out, Coach K will call certain things, and I would just improvise and kind of like do my own thing.
Coach K had high-level players, like Sean Dockery, just to think of a name.
Sean Dockery, that's a good one. Sean Dockery was that guy coming out of Chicago, and he went to Duke and was a damn ball player and didn't look like he even belonged in the ACC.
It's not a name.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of players that they came through Duke, and that's always been my issue with going to Duke. You be a whole different player once you get to Duke.
Once you get there.
And a lot of them players don't translate when they get to the NBA. Stop using Kyrie Irving. He only played 10 games.
Stop.
He only played 10 games.
Stop.
Look at Jaleel Okafor.
He bad.
Look at Jaleel Okafor.
Still Duke, though.
Look at Justice Winslow.
It's in the league.
They're in the league, but they're not making no kind of impact on the league.
Man, his fault he went to the Heat. He didn't make no impact anyway.
Stop, man. He was in the playoffs last year.
They got swept.
They was in the playoffs. Coach K, in my opinion.
He not at Duke no more.
In my opinion, Coach K doesn't do a good job of developing kids to get their games to translate to the NBA game. I just don't think he do a good job of it. He needs certain type of players like the Shane Battiers, the Christian Leitners, the Cherokee Parks, those kind of guys. Kyle Singler, J.J. Redick. He need them kind of players in his system. People like Justice Winslow and Trevon Duvall, people of that nature, it don't go well. And even though Bagley had a good year, I still think Bagley underachieved at Duke.
The team underachieved. That team should have been an elite team.
Exactly. Look at Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones, the number one point guard in the nation. He's a role player, and he's barely getting minutes.
That's not his fault. He went to Minnesota and he stepped his game up.
Man, stop, man.
He won that championship, though. Him and Justice.
He won it.
And Jaleel.
They won it.
They
won it.
Yeah, it is.
They won it.
Nah, they in the league now.
They won it by default.
Stop.
Who they play? Butler?
Don't matter.
They play Butler. They play goddamn Butler. Just saying.
I hate.
Look at the draw. Just saying. My whole point is this.
It's not their fault. It's not their fault that Gordon Hayward missed the grand three.
My whole point is this. Even though I don't agree with Wendell Carter's mom, like that she's tripping about they lied to her and she don't like how they brought Bagley. That's the name of the game. That's how it's going to go. If I can make my team better, I'm going to make my team better.
That's it.
But I do like how she went against the grain and put Coach K and a Duke program on blast. And more people need to do that. And maybe this will start a trend of all the top players that's going to stop going to Duke.
Stop hating.
Zion Williamson, Cameron Reddish, and R.J. Barrett.
Cool.
Watch how their games is going to be conformed into this little box this year.
I don't think Garrett Trent should have went there. Should have went somewhere else. Couldn't split.
It's another one.
Should have went there.
I can name a lot of players.
I know.
I can name a lot of players.
I know Duke.
I can name a lot of players.
I
can name a lot of players. Look at Harry Giles.
Should have went there.
Harry Giles, number one player in the nation.
Hurt. Should have went there.
Just saying. Frank Jackson, Emil Jefferson.
Ooh. Emil Jefferson got hurt, though. He's one of those players that should have stood around.
Just saying, dog. Austin Rivers.
He went there.
Austin Rivers should have never went to Duke.
What he should have went? Florida?
Should have went somewhere where he could actually like expand his game.
It ain't his fault. His game is bad now in the NBA.
Because he went to Duke.
Stop.
I'm telling you.
Game bad because he bad.
Telling you. We're gonna start giving awareness to what Duke put out to the league. We gotta start giving awareness to it. I'm telling you. I just feel like
can we go to the next subject, please?
Coach K do not get enough scrutiny behind this.
Next subject, please.
Sorry.
Can I take a break?
Chris Duhon need to call in the show and let it be known what Coach K do to them players.
Chris, you already know what it is. Durham, baby. We'll never go to Durham.
Well, yeah.
We'll never go to Durham, baby. We'll do that. We'll do that at all. We're greatness over there. Greatness. Listen, guys, we got to take our last break. Listen, when we come back, got NFL talk. Jameis Winston should he be cut by the Buccaneers in the top 5 corners and receivers heading into the league for 2018. Y'all stay tuned with FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports, New Orleans Talk Network. Don't go nowhere. Be back in a minute and a half.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1490.
What it do, y'all? It's DJ Slick Daddy from the Liveline, here to tell you about the hottest bar on the West Bank, After Dark Sports Bar, 419 LaPelka Boulevard in Gretna. Come check us out on Monday for steak and oyster night. Thursday, free seafood night. Friday, 3-for-1 happy hour. Saturdays, ladies night, and always open for parties. And then Sunday, Saint Sunday, Oldie But Goodie Sunday. Come find out what is hidden for at After Dark Sports Bar, 419 LaPelka Boulevard in Gretna. Doors open at 6, 12 p.m. on Sundays. After Dark is a non-smoking atmosphere.
Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy DJ Slick Daddy.
This DJ Slick 504.
And of course, I'm your girl, Black Coco.
Tune into the Liveline, New Orleans Talk Network, every Tuesday, 7 to 8:30 with all the trending topics.
And you can also check out my mix, DJ Slick Mix Quote 1 and 2.
And of course, check out Coco's Sex Tips of the Week.
And hashtag TTBS. That's that bullshit. It's the Liveline, New Orleans Talk Network, Tuesday, 7 to 8:30. We're always live. Let's go.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full service.
Niggas holding it down. They getting it in. They got jobs in the league. They're holding on.
Listen, you should be ashamed of yourself for being a Duke fan. Stop it. You really should be ashamed of yourself.
They got more players in the league than anybody. College basketball.
No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't.
You just named a whole list. They got more players in the league than any other school right now currently in college basketball. No. Kansas ain't got more. North Carolina ain't got more. Kentucky don't have more.
Look, we can easily research this.
We can research this. We research this. They got more players in the league than anybody. Whether they're stars or not, they in the league. They got jobs. Holding on. Grayson Allen just got there. Don't forget about him too. Add him to the list. Welcome back, everyone. FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports. Again, don't forget to follow New Orleans Talk Network on YouTube, New Orleans Talk Network. Don't forget to follow us on www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Again, you want to join the conversation, you got something to say, you can call the number 504-341-8255. That's the number 504-341-8255. Don't forget to follow us. Don't forget to follow G Sports on Facebook. Follow them on Instagram. Also follow FanView on Facebook. Follow FanView on Twitter at FanView Live. Follow us on Twitter at FanView NOLA. I'm always putting out something out there to start drama, because I'm about that mess. I'm about that mess. But listen, the last 30 minutes of the show, we got to talk NFL football. Breaking news, it's actually official. Jameis Winston, y'all, from grabbing a woman's crotch from 2016, officially gets suspended for 3 games. So for the first 3 games of the season, Jameis Winston would not be in uniform for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's the question we posed to everybody.
And one of the games against the Saints.
One of the games against the Saints. Here's the question we posed to everybody. Should the Tampa Bay Buccaneers cut Jameis Winston. G Sports. What's your take?
I'm not one of those people that wants to see people lose their job and things of that nature, but man, this dude has too many incidents that's going all the way back to when he was at Florida State. And it's just ridiculous how immature and a bad. I mean, it's just bad decision after bad decision.
Right.
Baddecision.com. I just don't understand how he just doesn't
Baddecision.com.
He doesn't get it. And I watched Hard Knocks last year.
Right.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers is on there, and you really get a good insight on how Jameis Winston is as a person. And bro, he's very immature. He's not a good leader. I think he's one of those guys that gets in front of the camera and tries to say all the right things and put on his facade and put on his front and try to make it seem like he's this type of person. He's not. I think he's very camouflaged. Going all the way back to 2013, got accused of the sexual assault. They didn't charge him. We don't know if he did it, but he's always going off your track record.
Correct.
It make you feel like he probably did it.
You stealing crabs?
You shoplifting in the supermarket, stealing snow crabs.
Snow crabs?
Then you're at your own campus and you yell the obscene gesture to the student body.
Correct.
On campus. And now you do, it's some other things he did too, I can't remember. Now you in an Uber. The story is not even making sense. First they say he was in it by himself. Now they saying it was him and two other guys. And the Uber driver said Jameis Winston was in the front seat. Now Jameis Winston said he wasn't in the front seat, he was in the back seat. The lady said Jameis Winston told her to stop him at a fast food restaurant. When she goes to talk to the lady at the window, he sticks his hand around her vagina area, grabs it, okay, and the Uber driver yells and tells him to get the move your effing hand, and he laughs and things of that nature, trying to smooth it over. He's getting out of control. He's getting out of control, bro. He's getting out of control. He's sounding like somebody that really has a problem.
Then you had the incident on the field with Marshawn Lattimore.
Had that incident.
That incident.
He had that incident. It's just so many different things, and you could tell if you're looking at the Hard Knocks from last year. Dirk Cutter is kind of uphill with Jameis Winston and with his antics. He's just one of those guys that says all the right thing, but he doesn't take heed to the stuff he's saying.
Right.
And if it was me, and I know he's due $20 million this year,
yes,
I'm cutting the piss out of him.
He's due a lot of money.
I'm cutting the piss out of him. I'm cutting him.
He's doing a lot of money. He's doing a lot of money.
Look, I'm parting ways with him, but I think that you're not gonna see the Buccaneers do that because Dirk Cutter's on a hot seat,
right?
And he's in a situation where he can get fired if he doesn't have a good year,
right?
And if you cut Jameis Winston,
you're in the hot seat.
Your season is pretty much going down the drain,
right?
So I don't know if they're gonna do that. If it was me, if I was the GM or the owner, I'm parting ways with him. It's too much. Look, maybe you need to go talk to a shrink. Maybe some things that you done went through in your childhood that you battling with. Some demons. I don't know what it is. But some things you're going through that you have a real issue. And people I've talked to that went to Florida State with him, they say this guy is extremely, extremely immature. He's not a leader at all. But, you hear good things about him, too. They say how smart he is.
When it comes to position
when it comes to playing a position at quarterback, breaking down film, knowing the other team's tendencies and things of that nature, how to break down defenses and coverages and stuff of that nature. They say he's phenomenal with those kind of things. But as a person, as a leader, and off the field, they say this guy's extremely immature. And if I'm the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'd rather get rid of him now before he does something that was detrimental to the team and puts it in a
Now, here's my
situation.
question to you. This happened in 2016. We're talking about 2 years ago. What took the NFL so long to do this investigation?
The NFL always leak. They always leak.
This is my whole thing. The NFL took 2 seasons. Is it because they are breaking down on sexual assault, domestic violence? Now, for crying out loud, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers
I mean, not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, the Carolina Panthers are selling their team because of sexual assault going on in the organization. So does the NFL feel liable to suspend Jameis Winston, or should this have been a fine from the league, and the Buccaneers should have figured out what type of, punishment that they should come up with? Because this is a 2-year deal. This is something that happened 2 years ago. We're going into 2018 season when reality is this should have been a suspension that should have happened 2 years ago. I don't think that you should be trying to figure out 2 years ago what a guy did, when I think you had that information 2 years ago. It shouldn't took place that long ago to say, oh, this happened in 2016. Motherfucker, 2 years ago.
Right.
At some point in time, not to say that I don't think that the NFL should have no level of disciplinary action, but for something that happened 2 seasons ago, NFL, you're bad for this. You have an unlimited amount of resources to discipline players.
Mm-hmm.
So you, as an organization, should have caught this before the 2016 season has started. This should have been something that, hey, listen, this has been reported, this was out there, then guess what? Man, guess what? We got to figure out how we're going to discipline this guy and discipline this guy accordingly so the Buccaneers can figure out what they're going to do. I don't have a problem with the suspension because the act actually happened, but how far do you want to go back and suspend players for activity that happened that's not recent? You're suspending a player for activity that took place 2 years ago. Not to say that I'm trying to not deny the act. 2 years ago? At some point in time, I have to hold the NFL accountable for how long they want to investigate issues and situations. So you're gonna hold somebody accountable for happening 3 or 4 years ago? Come on now. At some point in time, this happened 3 or 4 seasons ago. You need to get over it. If you didn't catch the act within a certain time frame, I think the NFL needs to be held accountable for not penalizing players for certain activity. Because this is this guy's career. Now, I'm not saying that Jameis Winston is a saint by any means, but going back and making a punishment. Now, I understand if they caught it in 2016 when it happened, they suspended him, he appealed it. That's one thing. But for you to catch something that happened 2 years ago, now to come up with the decision that happened 2 years ago, hold on, league. Stop. This is this guy's career. But we expressed this before the NFL draft. We talked about this. We ain't talking about this from a production standpoint. We thought the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should have cut or traded Jameis Winston before the draft. I'm looking at it from a football standpoint that, listen, guess what? This guy is not the guy that when I saw what he did against Marshawn Lattimore on the sidelines, that was enough for me. This guy can't be my quarterback.
And then how he handled himself with the media.
How he handles it, he can't be my quarterback.
The incident with Marshawn Lattimore.
He can't be my quarterback. He can't be my quarterback. He can't be my quarterback.
You cannot be the face of my franchise. You can't.
Not by any means.
You all the way foul. And he fake, bro. He fake the way he go about a lot of things. And
he's not a guy that I want to lead my franchise, because this is not a guy. When I got that impression from him when he did what he did with Marshawn Lattimore on the Saturday, this is my impression was on a Saturday night, on a Tuesday during the day. This somebody to monitor this kid. He's not accountable for his own actions. He's not accountable for that. That's not a guy I want to be the face of my franchise. That's just what I saw. Even when he was out there stealing snow crabs at Florida State. I'm saying this guy is just not going to be accountable for his actions on and off the field. When you have a quarterback of your organization, you want that guy to be accountable for what's going on and off the field at all times. You don't hear this from Eli Manning. You don't hear this from Matthew Stafford, Derek Carr. You don't hear it from these guys. Aaron Rodgers. See, the elite guys, you don't hear this from.
See, what's going on with Jameis Winston, this is a clear indication of all his life he's been slapped on the wrist.
Slapped on the wrist.
Nobody has really gave him a severe punishment.
Correct.
For the things he's done. You know, even at Florida State, man, Jimbo kept on sweeping under the rug. Kept sweeping under the rug. Letting them get away with these things. And I understand, you know, kids make mistakes and you're not perfect, but it's the way he go about it, and then you continue to make mistakes after that. You obviously not learning from what you've been doing in the past.
Right.
And he really was supposed to get a 6-game suspension.
Yeah.
They talking him down to giving 3. So I hope he don't appeal it. It doesn't make sense.
just go ahead and take
I don't hope he don't either. I
take
think
your 3-game suspension
take your lick.
and go ahead and about your business.
Take your
But
lick.
like I say, I don't think the Bucks are going to cut him. But if I was the Bucks,
if I'm the GM, I'm cutting it.
I would definitely let him go.
I
would definitely let him go.
That there, and for me, my thing is this. I think if you're the Buccaneers, you know Jameis Winston. I think you knew about this 2 seasons ago. I think you knew this. To me, going into the NFL draft, this is why I really pressed real hard. We stated this. The Buccaneers probably should trade Jameis Winston. If you're the Buccaneers and you know this kind of information is out there, there is no way I keep this guy on my roster because I can't have this guy hostage to my team. There's no way. I cannot do it. He's not about to be holding my team hostage that a potential suspension could be coming. Boy, I'm getting rid of this dude. I'm trading out of something to Arizona, and I'd have drafted Josh Rosen or somebody like that. To me, they're not going to cut him, but if I was the GM of the team, I'd cut ties for Jameis Winston. I'll move on. He'll get picked up. He wouldn't be a starter for some team. He'll have to wait till the injury situation had to happen. And I understand you didn't prepare for this because obviously you got Ryan Fitzpatrick and Ryan Griffin as the backups. So therefore, I know you didn't prepare yourself. But I'd have prepared myself. I'd have drafted. I'd have found a way to take one of those quarterbacks early in that draft because you had a top 10.
But they didn't know this was going to happen. Dirk Cutter's probably in the owners in the GM office like, look, please don't cut him. My job is on the line. Yeah. Don't cut him. If you cut him, we probably going 5-11. Please.
We went 5-11 last year.
We're going to work this thing out.
Gee, we went 5-11 last year.
Just saying. I'm just saying. I couldn't put up with the antics anymore.
No.
And to be honest with you, bro, just watching Jameis Winston and see how he conduct himself, bro, he's not somebody I would want.
You don't want that.
Part of my franchise.
No, I can tolerate that from a receiver.
I couldn't tolerate from nobody, but especially not my quarterback.
No, that's what I'm getting at. I'm talking about the position that he holds. I mean, if the receiver is a super talented receiver, no. Do you want to tolerate? No. But I'm looking at Josh Gordon. I'm seeing he still got a job.
He paid the price for it, though.
He paid the price for it. But I'm looking at it, okay, Josh Gordon still got a job, so therefore certain teams would tolerate this from certain positions because they don't see them as leaders of the team anyway. But when you're the quarterback position, boy. You can't. I hold you to a different standard than anybody in sports, not just the NFL, but in sports. And when you have that type of attitude or have these type of actions, boy, I can't have it.
Right.
It doesn't work.
Right.
I got to have you off my team. But listen, we got to get into. We didn't get into it last week, but we got to get to this week. Mm-hmm. The top 5 corners and the top 5 receivers. I know y'all been waiting for this makeup breakdown all year long. Y'all drop down in your comment box the top 5 receivers, the top 5 corners heading into 2018. Gee, what we should start off at? Corners?
I start at receivers.
Receivers? Top 5 receivers. We're going to start off with the receivers going into the league heading to 2018. I'm going to let y'all know right now my number 5 pick. My number 5 is Mike Thomas. Listen, I don't care what NFL top 100 list says. This guy heading to 2018 is number 5. This guy here, it holds the NFL record for having over 90 catches for his first 2 seasons. Over 8 touchdowns his first 2 seasons. Over 1,000 yards his first 2 seasons. This guy is a possession wideout. This guy gets open and makes plays. Disregard the fact that he plays for the Saints and he has Drew Brees thrown to him. This guy heading in 2018 is the number 5th receiver on anybody's board going into the season. If he's going to be healthy for 16 games, this guy is that guy. He's going to make the big possession plays. He's going to beat your number 1 corner. He's going to do what he needs to do to make the plays that he needs to make for his team. So number 5th, Mike Thomas for the New Orleans Saints.
That's a good one, man. Number 5 for me, I got to go Demaryius Thomas.
Ooh.
Demaryius Thomas with the Broncos.
With the Broncos.
I think it's just unfortunate he was with a pretty bad quarterback last year.
It's bad.
Ever since Peyton Manning left, it's just been bad for him.
Trevor Siemian and Brock Osweiler it's bad.
Right.
It's bad.
Right. Last year he caught. I mean, even with a bad quarterback situation, he still caught 83 balls for 949 yards. So Casey Keenum is going to be the quarterback for him. You know, who came from over from Minnesota, who led them to the NFC Championship and stuff like that, things of that nature. So I'm pretty sure the quarterback position is going to be upgraded a little bit. But I think that Demaryius Thomas, going into this year, he's the 5th best receiver going into this 2018 season.
Now,
Boy. Damaris is a hot one. That's a hot one. You can't take nothing from Damaris Thomas and what he does and how he does it. Now, my number 4 on my list, and this has a lot to do with health. If this guy gets a contract and he's healthy, to me, number 4 is Odell Beckham Jr., OBJ. This guy's electrifying. What he does on the football field is electrifying. The way he can make plays is game-changing. What Odell Beckham does. Odell Beckham makes a catch, and all of a sudden he breaks a tackle, and he gets out in football space, and this guy just makes plays at the plays at plays. He scored touchdowns, guys. Odell Beckham probably has the most touchdowns by any receiver starting off his first NFL career. He probably has the most touchdowns. This guy, healthy, just makes plays for the New York Giants. To me, going into 2018, Odell Beckham Jr., healthy, is the number 4 receiver I have going in. This guy's just electrifying. Whatever he is on the football field, this is what he is. He's going to make plays. If the guy has 4 catches, those 4 catches are going to be impact changing. If he has 6 catches, it's going to impact the football game. He has 8 catches, it's going to impact the game. No one can really impact the game. He just has an it factor that you really just can't explain. And that's how I see Odell Beckham Jr. So when I'm looking at going into the season, my 4th wide out heading into the 2018 season, it's got to be Odell Beckham Jr. But his health has a lot to do with it. So that's where I'm at with that one, G.
My 4th receiver is A.J. Green. A.J. Green is stud, but he's turning 30 years old. So time is starting to tick on him. Andy Dalton is not consistent.
Correct.
At being a good, accurate quarterback. I think last year was one of the worst seasons A.J. Green had. He still caught over 1,000 yards, and he had 8 touchdowns, but that was probably one of the worst seasons he's been in the league.
Right.
But I think A.J. Green, him and Andy Dalton, they want to rekindle that flame they had when they first got together. I think he has a pretty good year, and I think he's going to be the 4th best receiver in the NFL going for the 2018 season.
Man, A.J. Green, bro. And you can't take nothing from A.J. Green. A.J. Green is dynamic. A.J. Green catches everything in his line of sight. A.J. Green is that dude. Healthy, you can't take nothing from A.J. Green. I mean, he that dude. That's just the facts of the matter. He's like that. Number 3, heading into 2018 season. I mean, this guy's just a stud. He's worked with the worst quarterback situations he had in his entire career except last year. He finally had a quarterback, but he got injured. But this guy just makes plays at the plays at the plays at the plays. See, this bad man down there in Houston, DeAndre Hopkins. This guy's my number 3 receiver going into 2018 season. DeAndre Hopkins, all he does is catch his balls. All he does is have 10 touchdowns a season. All he does is have 1,200 yards every season. DeAndre Hopkins separates like no other receiver in the league. He creates space. He runs some of the best routes in the NFL. Now, he does this every season, but not having a great quarterback. Last year, the first year, he actually had a guy who we think is going to be a franchise quarterback. He hasn't had that his whole time in Houston. He's been dealing with the Tom Savages, the Ryan Malletts, the end of Matt Schaub. You know, he's never really had a quarterback down there in Houston. But this man, DeAndre Hopkins, found a way to live at that first-round bill and become a dominant receiver in all of football. I think I can only recall DeAndre Hopkins having one bad season. Heading to 2018 season, he's still that bad man down there in Houston that has to make sure that if Houston can be a contender on the offensive end, he has to be that guy. So going into 2018 season, DeAndre Hopkins is my guy. I say, man, listen, he's a number 3 receiver going to NFL.
My 3rd receiver is Antonio Brown. Now, you know, a lot of people will say, you know, they think Antonio Brown is the best receiver in the league. And I'm not arguing that. That's not I'm not disputing that.
Right.
But I think that going into this season, he's going to be the 3rd best receiver in the league. He's another one about to turn 30.
Right.
Ben Roethlisberger is Father Time is catching up with him.
Right.
You know, they got rid of Martavius Bryant.
Right.
So Juju is going to have to step up.
Correct.
A lot of different things has to happen for them to keep that offense potent. You know, Antonio Brown is used to catching 100 balls, over 1,500 yards every season. I don't see him reaching those marks this year.
Right.
I think he's still going to catch probably about 80 to 90 balls, probably about 1,100 to 1,200 yards receiving. That's still a pretty good year.
It's a dominant year for me.
So I think going into this 2018 season, he's going to be the 3rd best receiver
Still going to have a good year, but I don't think you're going to see the production that you've been seeing over the last 2 to 3 years. So Antonio Brown is going to be my third best receiver for the 2018 season.
Man, listen, that's a heck of a name because I got Antonio Brown at number 2. Antonio Brown's at number 2. Antonio Brown, for the past 3 seasons, has averaged over 13 touchdowns, over 1,100 yards, over 90 catches. Antonio Brown is still the best receiver overall to me in all of football. But it doesn't mean that he's the number 1 receiver heading into the 2018 season. Because of the age of Big Ben and the guy who's throwing him the football, I think that Big Ben, he's a quality quarterback, but at the end of the day, it's going to take away from the numbers that he needs to produce. And plus, at the end of the day, Pittsburgh had a lot more other weapons besides Antonio Brown. Juju Smith-Schuster. You have Le'Veon Bell. You see what I'm saying? You have other targets down there in Pittsburgh. You see what I'm saying? So I think Antonio Brown is critical. He's important. If you draft in fantasy, he's a first-round selection. But as far as being like the top 1 receiver heading in 2018, I can't really see that. Because, again, he's approaching that 30-plus year age. You know, he's been in the league now since 2010. This guy's heading into his 8th season. It's very difficult to still play at that elite level at that age. At some point in time, before the time catches up with everybody, and at the receiver level, you start to figure out what age is that. And I think right now, Antonio Brown, even though he still was the number 1 overall receiver last year, heading to this year, I think he falls to number 2. So he's my number 2 overall receiver heading to 2018.
Man, I was torn between these next 2 spots, this 1 and this 2. You know, I'm going to say this because I know a lot of people going to wonder why he's not in my top 5. DeAndre Hopkins is not in my top 5. And it has nothing to do with his ability. It has nothing to do with it. I just think that the situation he's going into, Deshaun Watson coming off the torn ACL, the parts that's around him, I just don't know if he's going to be able to put the numbers up. I just don't know if he's going to be able to put the numbers up that he's capable of putting up.
He put a number with Brock Osweiler.
With Brock. His numbers went down when Deshaun Watson got hurt last year.
Yeah, he did.
Now when Deshaun Watson was with him them 6 games last year, he caught for 38 balls and 551 yards and 6 touchdowns. But like I say, I just don't know how Deshaun Watson gonna come back from the ACL. That's a 1 question mark.
Correct.
And then his receivers around him, Will Fuller,
Braxton Miller.
I just don't know the tight end situation. Lamar Miller, he took a step back last year with the running back situation. I just don't know. I just don't know how they gonna look offensively as far as getting all these weapons involved this year.
Right.
So it's nothing against DeAndre Hopkins' skill set and his ability.
Right.
It's just about, are people going to bracket him? Are people going to double team him and take him out the game? And look, we're going to make Will Fuller beat us. Will Fuller. We're going to make Lamar Miller beat us. I don't know. So that's why I don't have him in my top 5.
I got to hit it at number 2.
So I just got to put that out there. My number 2 is Odell Beckham.
Odell
Beckham has a great situation in front of him. They drafted Saquon Barkley, who is probably going to be a top 7, top 6 running back in the league this year. You know,
still that Sterling
Shepard.
Evan
Ingram at tight end. You got a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback in Eli Manning. They kind of shirted their offensive line a little bit.
Yes.
I think you're going to see this offense put up a lot of numbers this year. I think Odell Beckham coming off that surgery, he wants to let people know he is better than ever. So he's going to have a point to prove this year. I think Odell Beckham is out to prove that he should be the highest paid player in the NFL, and he goes out and put out lottery numbers. I think you see this guy catch between 9 and 100 balls and 15 to 1,600 yards receiving this year.
1,500
probably like
15
12 to 15 touchdowns. I think you're going to see this guy put up on a amazing performance.
The dude has the it factor
this season.
The dude has the it factor beyond belief.
Odell Beckham, I got him number 2 for 2018.
Now, it seems like you and I may have the same number 1, but I'm on this my number 1. Heading into 2018 season, guys. This guy's a physical freak. This guy played in the Super Bowl 2 seasons ago. Unfortunately, he plays in the NFC South. He was called number 11. It's the bad man down in Atlanta, Julio Jones. And this guy is a physical freak of nature. It doesn't mean that this guy
as long as reason why I think have him as the most number one receiver heading to the NFL because his quarterback just got paid. His quarterback just became the highest paid player in the league. So when you're looking at Julio Jones, that just made his job 10 times easier. Why? Because his quarterback is stable. Let me get my playmaker in football. So Julio Jones can come out here and have the 12 to 1,500 yard, 1,200 to 1,500 yards receiving, 12 touchdowns, because Julio Jones has to get the football. Listen, Tyler Gabriel ain't there. They drafted Calvin Ridley to come play the slot. They still got Muhammad Sanu. You still got Deontay Freeman. But Julio Jones makes plays. Julio Jones can have a 200-yard plus game and change the outcome of a football game. He has that ability. And then Julio Jones is the biggest distraction in the league. I don't care what anybody say. When Julio Jones is on the football field, you got to know that Matt Ryan is going to target this guy. You got to know that Julio Jones, if he gets to the football, is going to make a football play and make any catch possible. So to me, heading into the 2018 season, Julio Jones is the number one overall wideout heading into the season because at the end of the day, you can't have this guy just making catches after making catches. He changes everything. If he's making 5 and 6 and 7 catches in the game, you're probably going to lose because he's going to have impact on those plays because he's hard to tackle. He's 6'3", 230 pounds, and plus he runs a 4.3. This guy here is just a physical freak of nature. So heading into this season here, I can't take nothing from it. You may have a different number one, but my number one is Julio Jones.
We're in agreement. I got Julio Jones number one. And number one is because he's 6'4", and a freak of nature. He can run past you. He can out physical you. There's a lot of different things Julio could do. He could take a slant to the house. He could run. He could stretch the defense. A lot of different things he could do. He blocks very, very well. Even though I got him number one, I got my concerns because he's talking about holding out. He got 3 years, almost $35 million left on that contract. He has outplayed that contract.
Yes.
I don't know if he's going to be one of those guys that's going to wait all the way to week 1 to finally come back, and I think that could hurt his production. But if anybody could do it, Julio Jones could do it. But another reason why I got him number one, man, the people he got around him. You got Austin Hooper at tight end who can stretch the defense up the seam. You got Calvin Ridley from Alabama in the slot, who is probably arguably the best route runner in the draft, and probably gonna be one of the best route runners in all of football.
Yeah.
Then you got Muhammad Sanu on the outside. You got Taylor Gabriel. And then you got that two-headed monster with Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman. And you got an MVP type of quarterback in Matt Ryan with a very good offensive line. I think Sarkisian did a poor job getting Julio the ball in the red zone last year. Julio did catch for over 1,400 yards receiving, but he only had 3 touchdowns last season. I think you see that touchdown mark go higher this year.
He didn't have a touchdown. He went 5 games. The first 5 games I had a touchdown.
Yeah. I think you see
that changes.
I think you see that touchdown mark go higher this year. I think Sarkisian, coming into the NFL, learning, the nuances of the game and learning his players and learning, how they do things. I think you see Julio get at least 10 touchdowns this season. When you get inside the 20, it's Julio time. I think you see Julio be big time this year. He gonna have it on his mind, even if he doesn't get that contract negotiated this year. I think you see him put on a show all season long, and then the Falcons have no choice but they'll renegotiate his contract and probably make him, if not the highest paid, one of the highest paid players.
Him and Odell's going to be one of those similar kind of contracts. Yeah. Obviously, you say yourself, man, Julio Jones has outplayed his agreement. He's obviously should be high. He should be more paid than a guy like Mike Evans.
Yeah.
He should be paid more than like that. I think he's going to use the platform based upon what Odell Beckham gets. When he gets his contract deal, his deal going to be something very similar. He has outplayed it. To me, he's the number one guy heading to this season. That's just what I see. Julio Jones is that much of a physical freak of nature. Now, Sarkisian didn't use him how Kyle Shanahan used him. When Kyle Shanahan was using him, them people went to the NBA. Them people went to the Super Bowl. You got to understand that. If Sarkisian used him half of what Kyle Shanahan wanted to use him, trust me, Julio Jones is going to make an impact in every football game. Or if not, he's going to be the biggest distraction in every football game and still make plays. That's the ability of Julio Jones.
Right.
That's just how I see it. Now, we didn't get to the top 5 corners last week. We got to get to the cornerbacks. Now, at number 5, Now, if I get into the corners, let me just recap. My top 5 receivers, or I have Mike Thomas at number 5. I have Odell Beckham number 4. I have DeAndre Hopkins at number 3. Antonio Brown at number 2. Julio at number 1. That's just a recap. What's your recap?
Demaryius Thomas at 5.
You had Demaryius Thomas at 5. You had
AJ Green at 4. I had AJ Green at 4. Antonio Brown at 3. Odell Beckham at 2. Julio Jones at 1. That was my 5.
And it's funny how I don't have AJ Green. I have Demaryius. I don't have Demaryius Thomas. I don't have AJ Green in my top 5, but you have Demaryius and AJ Green in yours. I have Hopkins and I have Mike Thomas. You don't have Mike Thomas in yours.
Right.
It's funny how we don't have everyone's top 5 is not going to be the same. List your top 5 receivers headed to 2018 season, because some people may feel like there's other guys out there. Some people think Keenan Allen should be in somebody's list. You know what I mean? Not part of my list by any means. But list your top 5 comments. Anthony Ruffin says 5th, Jordy Nelson. 4th, AJ Green. 3, Odell Beckham. 2, Antonio Brown. Jordy Nelson, yeah, number 5. 4th, AJ Green. 3, Odell Beckham. 2, Antonio Brown. 1, Julio Jones. That's Anthony Ruffin's top 5 receivers.
Man, put Jordan Nelson in the top 5.
Jordan Nelson. I don't think he realized he got released from the Packers. He got Derek Carr. He got Derek Carr at quarterback now. He plays for the Raiders. You don't know how he's going to perform. That's that man top 5. That's his top 5. Now, top 5 corners heading into 2018. Now, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with my top 5. They're going to really disagree with my top 5. But at the end of the day, this is my top 5. At number 5, I got Richard Sherman. To me, if he's healthy, you can put him on the left side of the football field, and he can handle business. He can cover his man. He can do what he needs to do. He's a leader of a defense. He can call out signals. He can call out plays. He can call out situations. Now, granted, he can't play on both sides of the field, but on the left side of the field, Richard Sherman is going to be that guy. Now, he's going to a new situation. He's not with the Legion of Boom no more. He doesn't have Earl Thomas behind him. He doesn't have Cam Chancellor behind him. But I think one-on-one on the left side of the football field, Richard Sherman can still make plays, bat down the football. He can do a lot of great different things. And he's still going to me have these 5 or 6 interceptions this year if you try to play with him in the NFC West. He's still in the conference that he's comfortable playing in. He's not playing for the same Seattle Seahawks, but I think he wants to prove a lot of people that, hey, listen, he's a guy that's worth the $12 million he just got from San Fran this season. So number 5, I got Richard Sherman.
Number 5, I got Casey Hayward from the San Diego Chargers. This is not a sexy name. A lot of people don't really know about Casey Hayward, especially because he played for the Chargers on the West Coast. Right. They don't really win a lot.
They win a lot of games.
But Casey Hayward is one of the best corners in the NFL since 2015.
Right.
Casey Hayward is one of 5 players that has 11 interceptions and 49 pass defense. That's big. That lets me know that you're always around the ball, and that lets me know that you're a ball hawk. So I think Casey Hayward doesn't get the recognition he deserves. He doesn't get the publicity he deserves, but it's evident that he's a top corner in the league, but he doesn't get the publicity. But I think this guy is clearly a top 5 corner, and I got Casey Hayward at number 5.
Now see, that's a great name, Casey Hayward. Now, I'm gonna go at number 4. I got 2 players from the same team. Now, y'all follow me here. Casey Hayward's number 5. Number 4 that makes my list is A.J. Bowie. A.J. Bowie coming in, had a phenomenal season with the Houston Texans. Got paid. What do we see when most corners get paid when they go to another team? We see the dip. Mm-hmm. We saw him get picked on. You start seeing him not making the plays. It's been a common situation when corners get that payday and they finally go to that new team that they don't make the impact that they made with the previous team. Not A.J. Bowie. A.J. Bowie still was one of the best corners in the league last year. Holding his own on the other side of the field of that other man and Jalen Ramsey. Holding it down. So I'm saying, those 2 guys, with A.J. Bowie getting there, became one of the best cornerback tandem in the league. You really couldn't throw the football on either side. This guy still was holding on his own. Had a lot of pass defenses on his side of the field. Made plays. Overall, A.J. Bowie earned his money last year.
He earned his contract. He earned why he should be a top 4 guy. To me, he's my number 4 guy heading to 2018. A.J. Bowie.
My number 4 is Darius Slay from the Detroit Lions. I really like this kid. Another one, not a household name. He was tied for first in interceptions last year with 6 interceptions. He was big time. He made some big plays last year. He's one of those guys that's very patient at the line of scrimmage, knows how to mirror his receivers really, really good, has excellent play recognition, very, very smart cornerback, one of the smartest cornerbacks you will see in the NFL. Darius Slay, man, big time to me. I think he's the number 4 ranked cornerback in the NFL.
Man, listen, great name. Number 3, I got Casey Hayward. He's number 3 on my list, though. Listen, Casey Hayward, just based upon what you listed, not to mention, I'm going to piggyback of one that you didn't name. He was the number 1 slot guy when he put him in the slot in the league last year. This dude here makes guys quarterbacks. It's trouble, though. Casey Hayward down there in San Diego, it's not a sexy name because the Chargers is not a sexy name. They didn't make a lot of strides to really make impact play. But Casey Hayward is my number 3 corner heading to 2018. This guy makes plays after plays after plays. He takes a pick. He takes it to the house. You see what I'm saying? He can cover you different kinds of ways. And again, you're not going to hear about it because it's in the AFC West. You don't really see them play that often because the Chargers are not a great football team.
Right.
But if you pay attention to football, Casey Hayward is like that. Casey Hayward's going to be one of the top corners in the league. Casey Hayward has a lot of pass defenses against him, and he makes a lot of different plays. Casey Hayward is number 3 on my list heading to 2018.
Number what?
Number 3.
Number 3. My number 3 is Marshawn Lattimore from the New Orleans Saints, man. Sky's the limit for this kid. Lattimore is one of those people, man, that is a very physical corner. He can turn and run with you. He has great ball skills. He didn't allow a touchdown, all first down, in 415 snaps last year.
Incredible.
On 27.9% of his targets.
Incredible.
That's like mind-boggling for a rookie. You know what I'm saying? So the expectations is high for him. He led all rookies with 5 interceptions and 18 passes defended. PBUs, right, for that matter. Marshawn Lattimore is on his way to being a top 2, top 3 corner in his league. I got him at 3. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people probably ain't gonna have him at the top 3, but I have him at 3. I think he cements his name this year as a top 3 corner in his league.
Right.
I think he takes a upward spiral. I don't think he has a sophomore slump at all. I think this kid is hungry. I think the Saints defense what Dennis Allen is implementing with that defense is going to put him in situations to be successful, and you're going to see Marshawn Lattimore have an even better year than what he had last year as a rookie, man. So I got Marshawn Lattimore coming in at number 3 for 2018 as one of the best corners in the league.
Listen, that kid, between him and Tre'Davious White, made the biggest impact at corner as a rookie. Those 2 kids had phenomenal years. Obviously, Tre'Davious White playing for Buffalo, getting drafted at LSU. Obviously, Buffalo didn't make the impact overall team-wise. So you didn't hear about Tre'Davious White. But Marshawn Lattimore made an impact. He is the leader, one of the leaders outside of Cam Jordan on that Saints defense. Now, for a lot of people I'm a diehard Saints fan, but listen, Marshawn Lattimore didn't make my top 5 heading to the 2018 season. Not that I dislike him at all, but I just chose a couple of different guys because I think Marshawn Lattimore, I need one more season out of him. Not that it's a bad thing, but I just need one more season out of him. But coming in at number 2, this kid here has been in the league now for several years now. Probably going to this 5th season out of Florida State. Got drafted to the Minnesota Vikings. 6'3", ran a 4.37. Come out of it. Had his first rookie year, we made a little slump, but every year after that, made plays after plays after plays. Xavier Rhodes, big time player for his defense. One of the most impact players in his defense. Xavier Rhodes can guard any corner, any way you put it. Big, physical, it don't matter. Xavier Rhodes from the Minnesota Vikings is that dude. If you want somebody who can make a play and hold his corner at the line of scrimmage, who can play man coverage, that's Xavier Rhodes. You gonna need a guy who can run down the field and make a play down the field,
That's Xavier Rhodes. A guy who can change up and go into different zone plays and make impact plays. That's Xavier Rhodes. I love what he do. I love the impact that he brings. Every single year, all you do is see an improvement. I can't take nothing from Xavier Rhodes out of Florida State. Heading into the 2018 season, the Minnesota Vikings are going to still beat that type of team. Xavier Rhodes is going to have the season that he's used to having, a dominant corner in that defense and being a leader for his team. So my number 2 corner heading into 2018 is Xavier Rhodes. My number 2 is Jalen Ramsey. I was torn between him and my number 1 slot. Jalen Ramsey comes in at number 2 for me. Jalen Ramsey clearly is one of the best corners in the NFL. He comes up in tackles. Right. He can cover anybody. He will follow anybody. Right. His athleticism, his ball skills, and his competitive nature sets him apart from a lot of corners in the league. Right. This kid is going to be one of the best for years to come. I think you're going to see him have a stellar sophomore season. Jalen Ramsey coming in at number 2. At number 2. For me, for 2018. Listen. And he going to talk a lot of smack. He going to talk a lot of smack. And he going to back it up. Hey, listen. Your number 2 is my number 1. Jalen Ramsey is number 1 to me. He's the number 1 corner heading to 2018. Why? Because he can pressure man to line of scrimmage. See, what he did with A.J. Green impressed me, though. When he took A.J. Green and how he had that performance against A.J. Green, yeah, they both got ejected. But guess what? He came out there and made his presence known that, guess what? I'm going to be physical with you line of scrimmage. I'm going to press you. And guess what? You're going to earn every catch out here in this football field. That guy hit in 2018. Again, I got 2 guys from the same team. That's how dynamic these 2 guys are. And I know a lot of guys didn't make my list. I know a lot of probably thinking that, hey, what happened to Chris Harris? What happened to Akeem Talib, Marshawn Lattimore? I think they all are great. But heading to this year, you sleeping on Marshawn Lattimore? I'm not sleeping on him. I think he's great. He's number 6. It was hard. Between him and Sherman, I was torn. I'm biased. He better than Sherman. Sherman for all the time catching up with Sherman. Catching up. But he's on a new situation, so he can make an impact. I'm biased. I like Sherman. But, there's a lot of different guys that I was looking at this, but Jalen Ramsey is my number 1 corner heading into 2018. This guy here, when it comes to any coverage out there, this guy can make plays out there. He can make plays against any quarterback out there in the game. He knows what routes are. He's the study of the game, And I never thought I would name 2 Florida State corners as my number 1, number 2 guy. But 2 Florida State kids coming at number 1 and number 2. Jalen Ramsey as number 1 overall corner heading to 2018. Well, look like you might as well say it's 1A and 1B. Because you got Jalen Ramsey number 1. I got Jalen Ramsey number 2. You got Xavier Rhodes number 2. I got Xavier Rhodes number 1. Xavier Rhodes is that guy. That guy. I've been telling people this. That guy. For about 2 years now. Mm-hmm. When he first got in the league, man, sitting at 6'2.5" with them long arms, when he can get them hands on you, it's hard to get separation on this dude. And the thing about Xavier Rhodes, he's gonna follow you. That's it. If it's Julio, Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham, don't matter. He's gonna follow you. Dez, completely take him out the game. Yeah, and he'll get in the slot and handle business. He's another one that just like Jalen Ramsey. That's why I was torn between the 2. He'll come up and tackle you. Xavier Rhodes big time. He only had 2 touchdown passes caught on him last season. That's big time when you're following the best receiver every game. That's big time. And that came against Mike Thomas. There you go. They came against Mike Thomas. There you go. That was it. So Xavier Rhodes, man. And then another reason why I gotta keep him up there as the number 1 corner is because you on a team with Mike Zimmer, who was a defensive-minded coach, one of the best defensive minds in the NFL. They have a great pass rush. You ain't got to cover for that long. So by the time he finished beating you up at the line, the ball coming out. Yeah. And all he got to do is make a play with that 6'2.5" frame, with them ball skills and that athleticism. He is going to be big time for years and years to come. I love Xavier Rhodes. I love his football IQ. I love what they're doing with that Minnesota defense. That linebacker core is just phenomenal. Yes. So I think you see Xavier Rhodes submit that #1 spot as the best corner in the league again this year. Because in my mind, he was the best corner in the league last year, and I kept saying it, and people were looking at me like I'm crazy. But Xavier Rhodes is the #1 corner in 2018, and you're going to see it on Sundays and Monday nights this coming season.
So to recap my top 5. My top 5 at number 5 comes in Richard Sherman. 4th is A.J. Bowie. 3rd, Casey Hampton. 2, Xavier Rhodes. 1, Jalen Ramsey. Your top 5.
My top 5 was who I had. I had
at number 5.
I had Casey. No, it wasn't Casey Hayward. What was it, Casey Hayward?
Casey Hayward came at 5.
Casey Hayward at 5. I had Darius Slay at 4. I had
Lattimore at 3.
I had Jalen Ramsey at 2, and Xavier Rhodes at 1. That was my top 5, baby.
It's funny how we had 2 Florida State guys.
That was my top 5.
1 and 2. I 1 and 2 shook up, but it's funny how when you watch the game, how your #1 and #2 are not that far apart. Obviously, Marcus Peters didn't make our list, folks. Obviously, guys like.
And I like Marcus Peters.
I like Marcus Peters.
I think Marcus Peters is too much of a gambler.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Too much of a gambler.
He takes gambles. Obviously, guys like, and this list can shake up. I think Tre'Davious White has a way of making his way into this list come next year.
We'll see.
Now, I'm gonna tell you somebody else who didn't make my list, or who won't make my list in the top 5. See this guy, Patrick Peterson? Not my list. He's not there. He's not my top 5. It's funny how most of y'all, y'all gonna have to list your top 5. List your top 5. Patrick Peterson is not my list. He's not a top 5 corner in the league to me. Not that he's a bad corner. He's just not top 5 to me. He's not ahead of those guys to me. He's not ahead of Marshawn Lattimore. I like what Tre'Davious White did. I love what Marcus Peters do. He's not ahead of those dudes. Now I know your NFL top 100 list. He came at the 2nd best corner, number 23 on the list.
They just going off a name.
It's going off a name. To me, he would never surpass Xavier Rhodes or Marshawn Lattimore for that matter.
He's on a downward spiral.
Yeah.
Patrick Peterson is on a downward spiral.
Yeah. I agree. Listen, that's our show for this week here. Come next week, we're going to have, obviously, we did corners this week. We did receivers this week. I think we got to get the defensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. I think we may have to go D-line.
Best defensive ends.
The best defensive ends in the league. Y'all come next week with your top 5 defensive ends into the league. Heading to 2018, that's going to be a good segment. Also, obviously, come next week, obviously, NFL, NBA free agency going to be on the full wave.
Full throttle.
Full throttle. That bad man G Sports talks about LeBron James.
LeBron James.
Going to be, probably have signed by then or making his impact on where he's going to go. That's going to be a lot of discussion to that week there. Any final takes, G Sports?
Man, I just think that we're going to see a lot that's going to matriculate over the weekend.
Yes.
We're going to find out if the Lakers going to be prevalent or irrelevant. And guess what, Laker fans? If you're irrelevant, you're going to hear the most from me. You better block me off social media.
It's going to get bad. But listen, for people who don't watch the College World Series, I do watch sports. But I posted a video, Arkansas, you're bad.
I love the uniforms, though.
Love the uniforms, but you're bad. See, you had a chance to beat Oregon State for the championship game. In the top of the night, you had a pop fly with 2 flies out, and the pitcher was like, yeah, we won the World Series. And all of them ran up and 3 of them. Ball hits the ground.
Piss down your leg.
Next play, base hit, next pitch, home run, Oregon State wins. You're bad. Now, game 3 is tonight. I think Arkansas going to lose. And if you do lose...
Because you're still thinking about last game.
You're thinking about last game. If you lose again...
Momentum shift.
You're bad. I think you're just as compatible with J.R. Smith. I don't know which one worse. Arkansas or J.R. Smith. Y'all let me know. You're bad out there.
It is.
And for people who watch the World Cup, I'm into it.
Argentina. Lord, they had a good game the other day.
I was rooting for Germany. They out. I guess Nigeria is going to be my choice. But Argentina is that team.
Argentina look like the favorites.
They're like the favorites.
Go! Go. That's our show.
That's our show, folks. Y'all stay tuned next Thursday. FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Walls Talk Network. Tag a friend, add a friend, like the page, add a friend to the page. Y'all know it's going down.
FanView, baby.
Real Fans Talk Sports,
man.
You're signing out. Y'all have a good one.
holler at you, man, in the app with us. And we're going to make this thing on the pop and New Orleans Talk Network. With real fans talk about real sports. And not only sports, everyday activity.
Yo, what's up? It's Pooga Williams. 2017 Mr. Football. You are now tuned into FanView Live on New Orleans Talk Network.
My name is A.K.A. Jackson, SMU commit, and you're tuning into FanView.
Well, what's up, everybody? This is boy Coach Hurricane Hip. You can follow me on Facebook at Henry Singleton or on Twitter at HenryHayoU15.
Listen, this your boy Fred. Listen, you can follow me on Facebook at Brandon Fred Jones, or you can follow me on Twitter at BFredJones.
This is Jeremiah Gray, man, with G Sports. You can follow me on Facebook, Jeremiah Gray, A.K.A, and on Twitter, G_paid in full 08.
Pay me the money.